Hi everybody, how are you doing tonight? I hope you've brought your own bee, whether it's booze or barbecue food,
Barbecue food.
yeah,
Or bop.
or B-roll.
Or B-roll. Brought your own B-roll. You want to get one of them, the world would explode if there was more than one.
Oh,
Honestly. Really would.
Just a couple of things we want to start off with right away. I'll put a link in the video description, or not in the video description, I'll put a link in the chat now. I'll update the video description later. But we have recorded a chat with Stephen and Lindsay from the Roaming Radfords. They're on the chat now, so hello Stephen and Lindsay.
Hi.
And they're premiering our little chat on Sunday at 5 p.m. So nice Valentine's little chat. You can have a little chat with us in the chat while we're chatting with Stephen and Lindsay.
Yeah, because it's
Like
a premiere.
chat inception.
Aye. Chatception.
So yeah, so we'll see you in the chat hopefully on Sunday.
Yes.
And a few other things as well. I've had to make notes of this because I keep forgetting. So a lot of people are saying, how do they get in touch? Because they've looked and we don't have email. We turned email off because we were getting so much email that it was difficult to keep track of email, YouTube comments and Instagram comments. So if you want to contact us, please just leave a comment in our video, just as you would normally. If it's something about that video, ask the question, we'll answer it. Or if it's a personal thing, not a personal thing, obviously. I don't want to know about warts or anything like that.
Oh, that was personal, wasn't it? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, if you'd rather everybody else not see it.
Yes, exactly. That
Yeah.
kind of personal.
Yeah, that
There we
kind
go.
of personal.
Yeah. Then obviously follow us on Instagram. It's John Mandy on tour on Instagram. And once you followed us, you can send us a private message.
And say us. There will be the total transparency here. It's John. So
Most of
that's
the time,
most
yeah.
of the time. And I do go on and check some things, and if something is asked of me, then I'll
Yeah.
go on and reply to it there. But the majority of time, John runs that account.
Yeah,
And
I run the Instagram and I make the videos. Mandy runs comments in YouTube.
And I have my own Instagram account, which is B-roll Mandy.
Yeah.
And if you've got anything related to
Food.
crafting or cooking,
Yeah.
or anything, the products I make, or anything you want to chat with me about instead, then use that one instead of the John one, because you'll probably get an answer sooner, because I do check my messages. You check messages, you just get a lot more messages than I do to go
Yeah.
through. To be honest with you, I get like 3 a week. So
You
feel
get way more than
free to message me, give me something to do.
Yeah. And the last one was just before we crack into everything else. A lot of people saying, how can they help our videos? They've just found us and they're surprised that people don't know about us anymore or something like that. So the easiest way, if you really want to help us to spread the videos, views and things like that, is to share it on social media like Facebook and Twitter or whatever socials you've got, and just share the link to our video.
Yes, and that would be lovely. And always, if you give it a like, if you do like it. And I suppose even if you don't like it, give it a thumbs down.
Yeah,
But tell us why, because we actually like to
Yeah,
know
we
if
do
there's
like to know.
if there's anything that
Yeah.
you don't like about what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like it, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. That's
Yeah.
always a big help. And yeah, just share if you can. That'd be
Share.
lovely. Share.
Sherry.
We do have one thing before we missed this on our last live. We were asked a few times, and it's only reading back the comments
Yeah.
that we realised that we'd missed it. So we need to say hello to Molly and Maisie. So hi girls,
Hi.
go to bed.
Yeah, and then we need to start to get to bed.
So yeah, hi to you both.
Yep, hello.
Hello,
Now
and thank you for
scoot off to
watching
bed.
any little bits of videos that you do of ours. But yes, there you go.
Yeah. Right, and I've got a little bit of a question actually, because I'm a nerdy geek and all that. How does the audio sound tonight? Because I'm trying a new little bit of a setup. So, there we go.
It's actually really good because the microphone is sticking out enough so I can't see my own face on this camera. There. And we go. Oh, spanners are in.
Spanners
so
in the
We've got
house.
spanners in the house. So it's Lou from Camper Vibes on there. We
Hi, Lou.
have.
Wow, Lou's not out taking snow pictures.
I know, that's what I said. And I
Wow.
don't even know if she's replied then, because it's kind
wrong
of
with
gone round a little bit. We have Portsmouth.
All right, Tash.
Tash is in the
Thank you.
house.
And I'm sure I've seen people just shouting out Daz.
Shouting out for Daz, yeah, but
So-
I can't.
Maybe Dazzler's in the house as well.
Oh, there we go. Yo! From Daz.
Yo.
So yes, thank you very much for our spanners for coming along
Yep.
tonight, even just to chat hopefully you won't need to do anything. And hello to everybody else so far
Yes.
who has joined us.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good Friday night. And if you've got any questions, feel free to fire away now.
Yes. Well, actually, I thought I was doing really well because I managed to reply to before we went live. I managed to reply to maybe 5 or 6 comments that were on there, and then
right.
of course we went live, and I've looked again, and I'm like,
Yeah, there's a
oh,
few
see
hundred now.
what's next.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's lovely. But thank you all for joining us.
Audio is great, no reverb, always perfect. Thank you. I did want to say a couple of things today that you'll find out a little bit more details next week. Breaking news.
Breaking. Dun, 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 dun,
The
dun.
van passed its MOT. Yay!
Woo!
It's always a butt clenching moment, that, isn't it? Drive in there with a van or a vehicle that's just over 3 years old, its first MOT, and you're still like, oh, please pass, please pass. But when it's your home,
Oh yeah.
that turns into a little bit more tricky situation. Somebody asked me today on Instagram, what do you do? So I said, well, I'll find the smallest garage I can with nowhere really to park more than 1 or 2 cars. And then I tell them that I live in it. And then obviously it's up to them then if they want me to live there after they've filled it.
Well, hopefully they know they would just pass it for passing it.
Hopefully, yeah, 'cause it's nice and safe and
legalities
everything.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It was quite funny though because you know me in my coffee, and they've got a few little separate waiting areas,
Yeah.
so each person and you had to sit in the yellow
In
box
the
as well.
box
You,
as well,
you
yeah.
couldn't get out of the yellow box. Ended up taking Coop for a walk and sat there, and it's just like, all right, I am freezing. So I said to John, I said, have they started yet? And he goes, no, the van's still outside. So I run outside, get my coffee maker out, turn the inverter on and make myself a coffee. And I'm just like stood there chatting away. And the MOT guy's like stood at the door going, because obviously he couldn't get in the van because I was in the van. And yeah, coffee
you.
again. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you very much to Drone HDTV.
Oh, yes.
What a lovely thing. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. I did wonder what that was, you know. I saw it flash up a second ago,
Yeah,
but it
it's
flashes up too
£5.
quick. Oh, see, Mandy is the boss of the kitchen with her one-pan meals.
Oh, yeah, well,
And the boss of the whole van.
yeah. Someone's asked, is there a Victory dual charge controller with an app? I'm guessing you mean Victron, and that your phone's done that nasty thing to you.
I wish there was a Victory one because that would be awesome. Can you imagine that?
But no, Victron don't do an actual dual charge controller, as far as I'm aware. They did do in the old lineup, but I don't think they do anymore. So if you can find a used one, they might. But I think all the new ones are just basically a single charge controller. So they won't back charge your battery. If anyone's wondering what that means, it means it charges your leisure vehicle and you start a battery at the same time. Or, well, it waits till your leisure vehicle's at 100% and then back charges to your starter battery. So there we go. Gone over your head.
You've literally probably just pushed out some useful information from my head now.
Dare you?
I don't need to know that. I've got you.
Oh, thank you.
So
what have you cooked today, Mandy?
I have cooked crumpets. I have cooked crumpets. We're trying to find, because of the running out of gas thing
LPG.
and getting free power thing, we've been trying to find other options to help with cooking, and we're going to do some over fire cooking eventually. Excuse me. So we found a low wattage George Foreman in Tesco's today. Oh! I mean, obviously I had one in the house. They've made them so much smaller now. They've taken off all the roundy bits of plastic and made them so they're really nice and slimline.
Quite compact, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I could fit 3 crumpets on it at once. Whoop, whoop.
And they came out all right, and they were cooked quite quickly as well.
Yeah.
Much faster than our little toaster oven.
Yes.
There we go. Couple of quick questions then. With all the work you've done on your van, what would you think it's worth? Well, strangely enough, I know somebody who's working at a dealership at the moment for motorhomes and camper vans, and because of the current situation, I hate that word, because of what's going on in the world right now, there are premiums on leisure vehicles, because everyone thinks in a month's time we're going to be let free, but we won't be out of the country, so it'll be staycations, and therefore because it's staycations there will be, everybody will be in demand for campsites and stuff like that. So it's a bit unfair for me to actually quote that as a regular price, but he reckons that most vans have gone up by 20% or something like that. which would value ours at about £58,000. But obviously it's our house, so I'm not selling it.
Yep.
Not even if you gave me 158,000. Really would.
Just think of moving again, getting all the stuff out.
I don't mind.
You
I'd
don't
just go
do
buy
it.
the same van again. I'd have 100 grand left, and then I'd have all those projects to do. Because actually, yeah.
No.
How cool is that?
No.
Yeah. Oh
No.
yeah, I'm into that.
No.
No.
And honestly, say no. Don't know. I say we don't normally do shout outs and stuff, but there's a chap on Instagram who follows all the time, Carl.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in New Zealand. And he's remembered.
All right.
And he's saying hi. So hi, Carl.
Hi, yeah.
Thanks for joining us from New Zealand.
Dominic says, saw your old projector video, which is the 8-man little LED projector, and do you still use it, and would you recommend it? We do use it, but obviously normally we use it at group events.
Yeah,
we're
we've
not
not
allowed
had
to do
any
that
of
anymore.
them.
So, but it's still good. Still
Hey,
recommend
we could
it.
use that and project it on the inside of the gazebo, on one of the panels in the
panels.
gazebo. We could both be sat freezing cold
Yeah.
around the camp,
Watch-
around the new fire, cooking and watching
Us.
bad films.
Well,
'Cause
we're
it's all-
watching plenty of bad films.
Oh,
lately.
we're literally making our way through Netflix and Amazon Prime and whatever at the minute. If you've got any good recommendations, please let us know, because we're all up for that.
Yeah. Someone's asked, what are our plans post-lockdown? I'm going to be really cheeky now. We've answered that in Stephen Lindsay's video. So if you go and watch the Roman Radfords on Sunday night, you'll find the answer to that question.
Oh, dear me.
So we're just reading through the questions then.
Yeah, sorry, we just
There
keep
are
pausing and going. There's
of
lots and lots.
questions.
So I just have to say, just a little wave, and we are where we are, and it is what it is.
Oh, that's a leading statement. Off you go then.
But we are.
Yep,
We are where we are,
yep.
and it is what it is,
What, and that's it?
and that's it.
That answers every
That
question, does
answers
it?
every question in the whole wide world.
Well, thanks for
I mean-
tuning in, guys. Hope you have a great evening. Obviously let us know how it went, and we'll see you next week. Oh, dear me.
Oh, the things, eh?
Going back to something that'll go over Mandy's head. How do you know if my van's got a smart alternator? You probably get the vehicle details from the manufacturer. It is difficult on a couple of years when they did a changeover that some didn't, some do. But essentially, it should state in your vehicle's handbook or something like that. You might even find there's a start-stop button or something like that as well that guides you along the way.
Hang on, I'm just read the audio. Mandy is louder than John, but I'm guessing that that's normal.
Yeah.
Yes, Chris, it is actually.
It
Yeah,
is,
it is
yeah.
very much normal.
Ooh, Martin. Thank you very much, Martin. Just seen another £5.
Oh, lovely. Oh, thank you
Ooh,
very
thank
much,
you.
Martin. How many beers have we had? This is my second one.
We've got more in the freezer,
Got my,
which is outside.
which is outside. We're literally just leaving the beer outside of the door
Yeah.
because it's way colder than it is in the fridge. So
Yeah.
another minute, 0 degrees outside. So yes, nice cold beer. You're not supposed to think it. Oh, he goes on. Hi. Actually,
Hiya.
I'd be here forever if I said hi
Said
to
hello to
everybody. I'm
everyone.
so sorry if I've not mentioned you by name. But there's you can see Brian's on and the Woolly Cods are on, and there's literally so many.
Yeah, all the lovely people are on.
All the lovely people are on. So hi, all you lovely people. And even if I've not mentioned you by name, if I've not met you before,
Yeah, might not know you.
I need to just draw back on the beer a bit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be quiet.
Andrew, in answer to your question about making more YouTube tutorial videos for the other channel, not quite just yet. I am hopefully going to get one edited. I'm going to promise to try and get it recorded over this weekend. It'll be edited next week. So all being well, it'll be either the middle of next week or the start of the week after. Fingers crossed. That's me committing.
With the fingers crossed as well. Oh dear. Oh, people keep asking about Coop. Coop is lying on the bed at the minute. I had to take him out. Took him out for a nice. It was probably about 2.5 miles walk. In addition to the little one that he had when I just obviously got out of the way during the MOT. It's been a bit cold today, so he's had all of his outfit on. He's had his little shell suit on again and his little shoes.
He doesn't half love it though, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. Although saying that,
Gets excited.
it was so funny because he's walking around, and you know, the first time he wasn't walking funny. He was just walking as his normal self. I mustn't have put his boots on properly this time, and he was doing that poddy paws walking thing. Honestly, I mean, he kept coming back to me because I wasn't following him because I was literally wetting myself. So I just took the shoes off him because I figured that that's the best thing. But yeah, he's been doing really well. It is a bit cold for him, but I think he's now telling us for a change when he's had enough. So we'll be walking around, and he literally just comes back if it's close to the van, doesn't he? He just comes and stands outside the van, and he's just like, I won't go in now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I'm like, same, mate. Come in.
Howard and Joanne have asked, do suppliers and manufacturers get back to us after we've reviewed their products, and especially if we dislike them? No, unfortunately. We don't have any interaction with any. I mean, we talked about it in our last video about the fact that we buy our products, we don't get things for free and stuff like that.
Not much anyway, unless it's a battery powered something or batteries.
But yeah, they don't really. I don't know whether they even watch the videos. I'm not sure. So to answer your question, no, nobody has ever actually purposely contacted us about a video we've made to tell us what they thought about our feedback.
Which is a shame, really, because it'd be nice to know what people want. The one thing that we've always said is that we have had one or two people contact us where they've said, we want you to say exactly this.
Yes.
And we've said no.
Yes.
Because if they want us to advertise their product in any way, it's got to be us that do it, and we've got to be honest about it, and we've got to like it in the first place.
Yeah, but we've been over all that, haven't we? So, yeah. Your voltage changeover unit, does it check polarity for live and neutral when you're in Europe? No, it doesn't. Use a little converter on the end of your cable when you connect it that changes over. But so far I've only ever had maybe 2 in 20 years in France as well. Other than that, mind you saying that lately, our last 2 trips out in Europe we haven't really plugged in. So I wouldn't really know. Probably did the one in, where was it now? Where we spent the couple of weeks.
Torre del Mar?
Yeah, that one's alright. That didn't need a changeover cable.
No, we didn't need anything. We've not done it in France though, and France is the one with bugger for the cross polarities, isn't it? So, yeah. Or someone said The Dig. We watched that one. Is that the one with Ralph Fiennes in it?
Oh yeah, we like that one.
Yeah, that was actually really good. That one where they found the Viking boat in the thing.
Good one, that
was
one.
actually really good. So give him kudos for that one. An update on your electric bikes.
Electric bikes have been in storage since we left for Europe end of October. Not really used them, mainly because it's pretty freezy, cold, muddy and everything, so we're not really gone out in them. And we didn't take them to Europe because we wanted the capacity to carry all of Cooper's dog food.
And medication and apple cider vinegar, because it's impossible to get the good stuff out there. So yeah, the bikes had to stay. Although when we checked them out when we got back,
I went into storage and I've checked the batteries. Batteries are still showing the half charge they were left with, and everything's still alright. They've not gone rusty. Everything looked alright with them. But obviously once the weather gets much nicer and warmer and less muddy,
we will be out on them.
Yes.
Especially if we can get back to Willow Fields and then get to Shepherd's Place Farm for one of those epic breakfasts again, because I think I've really missed those, because they're wonderful.
Absolutely.
Jay has asked what we're doing for the internet setup while we're in the van. I'm going to say that there's a video about that.
Last Tuesday's video is all about exactly what we use to get online in the van. So everything's described in there. Someone's asked, what's our favourite place or area to visit?
France.
Yeah, we've also made a video about that.
We
made a video about our top 10 places.
Yeah, that was while we were in Spain, wasn't it? Yeah, it was beautiful where we did it.
So if you want to find where we really liked and some really, really stunning locations, as well as locations that are just maybe a bit obscure, but we really like them because they're out in the middle of nowhere or something like that.
Yeah, it's our top 10 on there, and it gives all the details and pictures from way back when, I think, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention that as well. Steve's just reminded me Roman Radfords have an exclusive in the video.
There is an exclusive in there.
Something
Oh,
that's not been revealed yet.
no, it's not. Oh, surprise.
And no, it's not that I'm actually wearing a bald wig and really I've got lovely hair.
Oh, you see.
Yeah.
Not like all Eamon pre-haircut.
No.
Floaty, because that man has awesome hair.
Yeah. He could make many bald men very happy.
Yeah.
And I mean just in hair terms, I'm not going down a different route there. Not doing that. Hi Eamon, if you're watching. That would be amazing.
It really would be if you were. Say hi to everybody if you were. Shirley's asked us what we're doing for Valentine's. We did a bit of a Tesco shop while we were at the out for the MOT today, and I got a meal deal. So we've got potato topped chicken pie with triple cooked chunky fries on the side, salted caramel profiteroles for
Yes.
pudding, and a bottle of wine because you get a 10 quid bottle of
I'll be
wine.
drinking beer. I don't really like wine.
Yeah,
you know.
but you get a 10 quid bottle of wine, and
Can't
it's
argue
10
with
quid
that.
for the meal deal. So free food potentially.
Colin Reynolds is asking, if I was to build a van myself from scratch again, what would you change? Strangely enough, I've made a video about that too.
Oh, just answer one.
Yeah,
What,
all right
what
then.
would you do?
Would there be many things I changed? I would have probably the same solar setup I've got now. Definitely a B2B, obviously lithium. So no, I wouldn't really change anything. What I'd have is the exact spec I've got now, because I think the setup that we've got now fits almost every eventuality. So if we're in a sunny place, as we know, we can survive for as long as the sun shines, and Mandy can drink coffee and I can edit the videos for you guys and charge all the drone batteries and all that lovely stuff. If we're in freezing cold England with snow covering our solar panels and stuff like that, then we just start our big generator called the engine, which charges up using the B2B and stuff like that. So, oh, and yeah, there's a comment. I did ask the MOT tester today how our emissions were scoring, because we did spend hours and hours and hours on engine running to work the B2B to charge the batteries. And they basically said that we scored an average for the sort of size and engine classification of the van, and he would say that we're definitely not producing more CO2 or anything like that than he sort of would imagine for a van, because you got to imagine these MOT testers don't walk around motorhomes all the time wondering how energy efficient they are or anything like that.
Yeah.
So all he said was that we didn't put out any smoke, and the score that came up on his test meter said that was perfectly fine.
Within the
Tolerance, yeah. So
I forgot English today.
yeah, you forgot English a lot. She forgot to finish sentences as well.
Oh dear me. When are we going back to Spain? I would say as soon as we can. Actually, no.
No,
We're going to go left next time we go
Yeah.
abroad instead of going right, I think.
no, that's a secret. Don't say any more, because that's the.
That's in the Radfords as
It
well.
is, is it?
Watch it on
I would
Sundays.
imagine the next time we go to Spain will probably be the end of this year, if we can, and then spend winter sun time over there.
Well, no, it'll be early next year. It'll be like like we did. I've forgotten all the years. Last year or the year before.
Yes, so in
We'll go over
2019,
after Christmas.
yeah, 2019, we left the UK on the 28th of December. We had New Year's on the Med in France, and then worked down our way back up to Portugal and back home in two and a half months or whatever. And that's probably what we do, because it was the right kind of weather, the heat that I can deal with. And when we got back to the UK, it was March, and the weather was much nicer than it is right now.
It was getting to be a lot better.
Yeah.
And I think we figured out that last year, Christmas we're not doing a Christmas away again.
No,
It was
it's
the wrong
too
thing
strange,
to do.
wasn't
It was
Yeah.
too strange. I mean, I know we say it's nice to get these different things. And I'm glad we did it, because now we know we're not going to do it again. So yeah, it's a all experience, isn't it?
It is stuff that you have to do to work out whether it works or not.
Aye.
Just ordered my motorhome. Hope to be travelling soon. Don't we all? But yeah,
Oh,
I would
yes.
imagine if you just bought one, you must be really eager
Like
to get out
proper
there.
excited.
Yeah, but yeah, we are all hoping that if everything goes the way the government's plans are going, that pretty soon we might be allowed outside in small groups like we were last time.
Yeah,
So fingers crossed for that one.
yeah, because if they allow a group of 6, I mean, I know a lot of the meetups that we've been to have been many, many more than 6, but then you just go to many, many meetups and be careful, of course, with 6 people at a time.
Yeah,
And that's that, or 4 more people at a time.
the rule of 6, as it was strangely
Yeah.
coined.
Paul, I used to work with a guy called Paul Jones. How much do you need to spend to get a decent entry-level drone?
I mean, the problem that you've got there is my version of decent might differ from yours. I would say don't buy anything that isn't DJI, and I think their entry level drone's about 400 quid, something like that. So yeah, the DJI Mavic Mini 2 would be a good starter drone. If not, get a used DJI Mavic Air, the Mavic Air 1 as a used drone. That's a good one. I've just seen this one. Did MOT man put that shaker machine on? Yeah, it's weird. Not only does it do the steering check all automatically, there's no one in the van turning the wheel or anything like that, but it actually puts tension on the wheels and pulls them apart and pushes them together as if to put lateral loads on to check all the joints and everything in the steering. Very strange, but yeah, pretty cool actually.
I'm still glad I went for a walk instead.
I kind of looked at the wheel and went, whoa, is it supposed to do that?
Lou's gonna get AJ a matching suit for so the Coop and AJ are matching.
Oh,
Next time we see him.
brilliant. That'd be cool.
Coop's so funny in his though because he rustles around like a Mancunian from the 80s basically, all shell suity and rustling
Yeah.
around, and he
But
keeps
he loves
wondering what
it.
the noise
He's
is.
dead happy with it.
Oh, he does. He loves it.
Adventure Pod Alex says, would you recommend going for LPG, Truma Combi or the diesel one? Now, I saw YouTube's video the other day. He's installed a diesel heater. It's the diesel Combi, so it's the 6DE or the D6E or something like that, which means it runs off diesel and electric. All I would say is it's £2,500. It's going to heat water. It's going to heat the van. But our diesel heater was £100, and his Combi, the Truma Combi, the £2,500 one, still goes tick 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 because it's got the exact same pump that all the cheaper diesel heaters use. So just bear that in mind before you make your decision. Go and watch YouTube's video about him installing a diesel heater. There's another one called the JC, which is a copy or a DJ or something. I think it's a JC or something like that, which is a copy of it. Again, diesel and LPG, much lower price point, and will be roughly the same because I think it's an exact clone. But again, you've got to work out. I think that one's 1,300
Didn't we
quid.
have a look at that? And that the external vent was much smaller,
Much
than
nicer
the
than the
Truma. It was
Truma
like
one,
it is
yeah.
now, like the little round one.
Yeah.
But the one on the diesel Truma is like a massive rectangle.
Very strange.
So yeah, I think there's a few things that made it look a little bit
Yeah.
better, didn't it?
But as far as my suggestion, we are absolutely very pleased.
Absolutely, very pleased. What a come down!
Absolutely smitten with our diesel heater.
Oh, we do. We love
Yeah.
it. Absolutely love it.
Apart from the tick tick tick, which I'm still waiting for that quiet pump. Hopefully it'll be here next week, and then I'll fit it pretty darn quick, and then we'll know straight away because it is just a couple of wires, click click, and then the tubes, and then you're done. So we'll know straight away. Then.
Yeah. So someone's asked, when crossing the channel, do you get checked inside your motorhome? So obviously we've not been from England to France since Brexit, and we've heard, and this you have to say that they do check a little bit more because of the fact that there is no meat or dairy, I think, that's allowed.
Yeah,
Raw
the
meat
new
or
one,
dairy is allowed into the EU
Yeah.
from the UK because there's no licensing for it or something, isn't there? So we've not been over, so we don't know if that's okay, but I know that us on the way back and a couple of other people that we know have crossed recently have all had internal checks for migrants.
Yes.
That's what they literally say
Yeah,
when
they
they walk
enter
in
the
the
van
door.
looking for that, but we've not been out yet while they're doing the checks, so they may well do the migrant check, and then they may well look in your fridge and cupboards too.
Yeah,
We don't know
so
yet.
England aren't stopping anybody. You can't stop anybody bringing food in. It's just on the way out again. It's from the UK into the EU that you can't take stuff.
Yeah.
So we don't know about that one, but yeah, they do when you come back.
Here's a really good question, actually. Is John a qualified electrician? John used to work for National Power, wiring up nuclear and coal-fired power stations.
Yes. So John knows his electricals.
And then I got bored with that, so then I started to move over to data networks and computers. And they're much nicer. Smaller cables to deal with.
Yeah, less likely to be in dangerous situations where you blow up and things like
more
that.
gadgets too as well.
Oh, Dave's in the house. Dave Whippet. Dude Whippet. We should get, what's it called? The
He needs to change his channel name to Whippets, though.
Does it say Whippets? Dave, it still says Whippet.
Yeah, and
Poor Rosie.
And your outro still got you and Lou there, so there's a little Rosie missing. Sorry, mate. Get out there and film it now. Do you find height restrictions on roads in the UK and Europe with the 4G aerial you have on the roof of the camper van? The new aerial is much smaller, so if you go and watch the video from a couple of days ago, it's much smaller than the old aerial. And last time I was out in Spain, we were measuring. You all right? Mm-hmm. Have you seen a bad comment? No.
Carry on.
I'm sure we'll find out soon. Last time I was out in Spain, for some reason, we decided to measure vans with other people that are around. And our van is to the top of the antenna, only 2.9 metres. And we've actually been under some small bridges that say 2.8, 2.9 metres, and we didn't go all the way down.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah. Go on, what are you laughing at?
Jane.
Right.
You have no authority here, Camper Vibe. No authority at all.
We watched those videos in full last night.
Oh, we did. We watched the Handforth
debacle.
Oh my goodness.
We watched both of
that's
them.
Funny.
We watched the one where it all went a bit whiffy, and then the one afterwards when they all had an argument.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah.
Just to fill you in, we used to live about 10 miles away from Handforth.
Yeah, I used to work just around the corner.
Quite exactly as you see them on screen.
Yeah. So watch out. I've got a couple of favourite people who live in Handforth, so we just have to be very careful about that.
Okay.
But they're not like that at all.
No, totally not.
So that's fine. But oh my goodness, that was just that's hilarious.
Do your windows get condensation in the morning? Do you have a tip to stop this? The side windows all the way around the van and the roof windows are double glazed, so they're like proper camper van windows, motorhome windows, whereas the front ones, which are the original van windows, do get a little bit. Our window blinds at the front are somewhat okay at sort of like retaining the heat inside the van, but a little bit of the heat then comes in contact with the cold outside, and that's where you get condensation. But we're having little bits of an issue, and again it'll be in next week's video. We're having condensation in other places at the moment. In some of the cupboards at the back of the van, our clothes are frozen in the morning.
Yes, our clothes and towels were frozen to the back of the cupboard. So.
And have you got a tip to sort that one out? Turn the heating on full all the time if you can afford to do it, or if you're on
and
keep
your cupboard doors open if it's in the cupboards. That's a John and Tash hint from them.
Yeah.
And they also suggested that we get these little sachets.
Oh, they're really good. Yeah, they're in the video too.
They're really good. So we've put them in places where we were getting moisture before, and it's definitely improved the situation now. And so hopefully you've got money in the boot.
Yeah, try and get it all sorted out. And as far as removing the condensation, we just use a battery operated sort of window vac. They're like Karcher, but there are other models are available.
And I use my hairdryer to unfreeze the back. So
yeah. I'm going to really probably quite annoy somebody now.
Oh.
Brian Edwards has said, is there a chance that John could identify the apps he uses on his Android head unit, as we have just installed one a couple of months ago? Yeah, I've installed a new one, but I'm not going to tell anyone yet because I want to actually fully test it again to make sure it's all right. And then in that video I'll tell everyone what apps I use and why.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. You're not the first, by the way, if it's something to...
No, we did apologise in last week's video to say, obviously I like my gadgets, and if something's better and does something for a different reason and
it's affordable and it's not daft and whatever, then
I'll change it.
Yeah.
And this new one's that much better than the last one. It was worth
Yeah.
Pump.
And another one that might be slightly annoying, and I'm so sorry with all of this, it's just that when you have an exclusive chat with two lovely people and they ask you some really pertinent questions,
Yeah.
you kind of feel like you can't answer them,
Yeah.
or that you shouldn't answer them because you should go and see the full answer.
On Sunday
So
night, yeah.
Richard Sumner has said it's 147 million rollover. Hope everybody bought a ticket tonight. If you were to win, what would be your dream motorhome?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, a very similar question to
Yes.
that. It was only $1 million though. Was it $1 million?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know she said no money, no object, blank check.
Was it a blank check?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So-
But yeah, there was a very, very similar question asked and a very in-depth
Answers were
answer
given.
was given.
Yeah. So that is going to be on, if we've not mentioned it already, or if you missed it, on Sunday night over on the Roman Radford's channel. There's going to be a little chat video that we've pre-recorded with them. It's a long one, so you people who like long videos, you'll appreciate that. We have a lovely chat with Lindsay and Steve, and we chat about all sorts of stuff, including that very question.
Yes.
So yeah, 5 p.m. Sunday night, Roman Radford's.
Yep. And it's a premiere.
Yeah, so we might actually be there in the chat, like you guys now, chatting away to each other.
But we won't be. You can't.
No.
Well, you can't see us. We can.
You'll see us, yeah,
But
and we'll chat at the same time. It'll
Yeah.
be quite strange.
Dominic has said, I've heard of a new regulation in Portugal with no wild camping. Have you heard of this? If so, what are you thinking of doing about it? So what we did about it, because it came in while we were actually in Portugal, is we stayed on campsites. Oh, we only stayed on 2 before we decided
Yeah,
to
we
come
decided
back
to
home.
leave, but we did chat to a lot of people about it.
Yeah.
And the information that we got was, as long as you're not silly, like you don't set up camp, like you don't get your chairs outside, you don't camp in places that are obviously going to annoy people, like on a really major beach or anything like that. And I don't know what the other one was. It was something to do with the longer you stay there, the more likely you're going to attract
Well,
attention or something
People
like
were
that.
saying that they were being pulled up all the time in Portugal. It was Spain that people were saying, because there was a load of beaches in Spain
Yes,
that
for
people
the long
had said
term.
if you
Yeah.
were there for a long time, they're being picked upon. But it is camping. So if you've got your chair next to your van,
Yeah,
they class it as camping. If you've got your chair on the beach,
yeah.
it is not camping.
No,
So there's a few little hints
strange
and tips. It's like you've got
things
to
you
now
pick
work
up.
it. You've got to
Yeah.
work the system a little bit, I think.
but on the Portuguese one, there are lots of campsites. They're really cheap. There are also lots of airs as well.
Oh yeah, and lots of car parks that don't mind you park. Or they'll park. You can park in there. It's like €2 or
So where was we Cortera we loved, and there was a big, how should we say, wild camping through the
like
forest,
a forest
bit there.
kind of thing. Yeah.
That's obviously closed off, barricaded and everything as part of this new rule they've got. However, there is a free air just up the beach where you can get about sort of 15 camper vans there, and they don't mind you staying there for a couple of days. So
Yeah.
it's one of them. I think it's going to take a few years maybe, or well, once people are allowed out and start going to all these places, it's going to take some time to balance
to see
out.
what's going on. But Portugal is now in a full lockdown
Yeah.
anyway, so people aren't able to just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
and see what they can and can't do or anything like that. So I think it always takes some people to be the trailblazers,
Yes.
to be the ones that are told off or possibly fined or knock your
Don't
iPad
break
over.
my iPad again.
What do you mean again? I've only broke it once before, and it wasn't that one anyway, so it doesn't matter. If ever you go through airport security, by the way, and an iPad is flat on top of a suitcase, don't turn around with the suitcase too quickly, because the iPad stays where it is and then falls on the floor and breaks.
It makes everyone in that, like,
Literally, there was about
Lounge
40
area,
people
yeah.
around me go,
but yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood and all that, we'll let you know about free camping in Portugal in a year's time. Fingers crossed.
yes, fingers crossed.
Mark Wells has asked, John, how are you finding the new M1 MacBook Pro for editing? Oh, it's lovely. It's very quick, but all the software is different. So it took me an annoying few hours to get everything back how it was. But other than that, yeah, brilliant.
Carl said his wife now wants little flower pots. What do you mean, like these ones here? These are literally a £1 from Asda, stuck on with Gorilla Tape.
Mhm.
Many times this one keeps falling off, so you will see more where this is like hanging off.
And we've
Oh,
got another one as well.
I do kill all the plants, so they are all low plastic, all plastic.
Someone else has asked, on your Wi-Fi setup, can I take the SIM card out of my phone and put it in the router? Yep, as long as your SIM card's got a data plan on there. Yep, no problem at all.
SV I need my glasses on. I've asked if with the tyre upgrade, did you have to calibrate the speedo, or was the overall tyre circumference the same?
Well, here's an interesting one, because we've had 3 Ducato-based motorhomes, 2 actual motorhomes, and 1 camper van. And on each of them, I changed the wheels and tyres from 15-inch to 16-inch. So I can tell you now that at 15-inch, as you're driving down the motorway, your speedo will be about 3 to 5 miles an hour over the speed you're actually doing. So it'll be inaccurate, but reading over. If you change to 16-inch, it'll be absolutely sweet and spot on. Gearing, somebody mentioned about gearing videos and stuff like that, but no, it's fine. But in the next Tuesday's video, or the coming Tuesday's video, is all about the wheels and tyres, and it answers about 78 questions that people have asked.
They're incredibly popular, these tyres, so he's getting all the questions, which is great, because I mean it's lovely to know that you've made a choice that everybody else also thinks is a really good choice.
It was quite funny though, going to the garage and the MOT tester goes, "Whoa, never seen a motorhome with them on before." Then everyone came out the garage and they all had a good look.
Yes.
But one of them must have had a chat with it, and because without me seeing it anyway, because I told him like, "Oh yeah, you should see where we go and we get it. They're not just for show." So one of them came out and he's like, "Oh yeah, that looks mint that." And the other one, "It's not just for show though, you know, they really get used." I don't know if he'd been underneath and found all the mud.
Oh yeah, there's probably from many countries under there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Gilly said, or Gilly, quite missing you guys and others like the Whippet Man, etc. all together in pubs and stuff. Oh, us too.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it. I mean, WhatsApp messaging is not the same,
No.
just reminiscing and going over things, but it's one of the things that we do miss a whole lot. I don't think we ever thought we'd find a big group of people that we could literally tour the country and go and see individuals all over the place.
Yeah, it is good. But I think what I'd like to do, we did have a chat over video chat with somebody the other day about this one. What I'd like to do when we're all allowed back out and pubs reopen and stuff, it's a lot of money to do it every night, but as much as possible to go back to using pubs as overnight camping stops.
Yeah.
Because I just want to make sure that pubs are still there for us.
Yeah.
And it's not selfish just because I like beer and food. It's just for the fact that there's been public houses in our country for longer than there's been, you know, parliaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that pubs survive. I'm all for the little businesses.
Absolutely. And people, like I say, they work hard. It's not easy for holidays. Everybody that does decide to become pub landlords and landladies, you know,
it's a tough job.
It is a tough job, and they deserve everything. And it is brilliant.
My grandparents used to be landlords. So.
Yeah. There's a landlord and a landlady.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it was.
So wondering, well, can I go in with another one?
Go on then.
Wondering really, John,
Yes.
if you could only have a bad gammon meal or a healthy green leaf meal, which one would it be?
Should we tell them?
No.
No.
We should really, shouldn't we? 'Cause it's probably going to be the last one where we're chatting.
Breaking news, people. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
We are going to do
Meatless March.
Yeah, meat-free March, yes.
Meat-free March.
The entire month of March, all the meals we're going to eat, whether it's breakfast, dinner,
No,
or tea.
all the food, regardless of what it is,
Yep.
breakfast, dinner, tea, snacks, anything like that, meat-free.
Meat-free. So watch this space. So I would rather have some meat-free burgers made by Naked Glory.
Yes.
Are they?
Don't
Yeah.
Google that at work, by the way.
No, that's an odd one. Do Naked Glory burgers.
Yes.
That might help. I'm not responsible for any other searches that you're going to come across. But yeah, I'd rather have something like that than a bad gammon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the reason why I eat gammon is because it's very, very, very rare.
Hard to get wrong.
Yeah,
isn't
that they get it wrong. So, right, next question I've got. Is there any chance you could make a map of all your My 3 words? If you mean what 3 words, no, it's quite difficult actually to put a map together. They make lists and things like that, but it's quite difficult to put a map together, unfortunately. Oh, Womble's here. Have I missed Womble? All right, Kev.
Underground, overground, wombling free. Moopy! Hi, buddy. No, I'm gonna get him.
Oh,
he's having a drink.
He's having a drink. Wait for him to have a drink. Someone said, is for an LPG tank underneath your van. And we've got 2 refillable LPG tanks in a gas locker. Underneath the van, I've got a different kind of idea about this one because I like to go and explore and we like to go off-roading and that. Our last van had a refillable LPG tank underneath the van with all the water tanks and everything else, and we used to catch it on everything, which meant we couldn't really go that many explory kind of places. I prefer having a clean area under the van so I can go through bramble bushes, over rocks and all that kind of stuff. He's trying to hide.
Hi, buddy.
Oh, he's not on camera yet.
We're going to come this way.
Oh,
We're gonna
she's turning
come-
round.
Oh, he's like, I don't like it, Mum.
There
Look.
he is.
Hey, look. Hello. It's
Aw.
our people. It's your people. See?
Oh, you're gonna
I
say
know,
hello,
instead
kid?
of your person, he's like, no, I don't like it.
You're
I'm
gonna
shy.
say hello?
You're not shy. What's the deal?
Oh,
Hey, you're going to say hi up there, look.
oh.
Oh,
Hello, everybody.
Off camera.
You done now?
Yep.
Want to get down?
He does. He's
Yeah.
pushing me off the sofa. Right, buddy, come on down.
So, yeah, in the video that I mentioned earlier about, I've made a video about how I'd do my van and how I'd build it. I did mention it in that is, if you want to go exploring, try not to put too many things under your van so you don't catch them and, as we did, lose hundreds of gallons, hundreds of litres of water every time you catch it on something.
Alan has asked, how will we get our jab with no fixed abode? We are way down on the list
Yeah.
for getting a jab.
Not that old.
However, we are getting text updates from our doctors about that. So as soon as we get the text, we'll go in. Or probably as soon
I'm
as they
hoping.
open it up and say that you can just
Yeah.
make your own appointment wherever's closest to you and go and do that, which is what they're saying it's going to do as soon as.
They reckon May, isn't it?
May,
By
yeah.
May time that you'll be able to just go onto app or website, book your appointment, and either go to a centre and get it done, or even drive through.
Yep. So we're just going to wait and we'll
yeah.
we'll sort that out as soon as we can. As soon as it is, we'll go and get we'll go and get jabbed up.
Here's a good one actually. I was going to say this in a video about electrics and stuff like that. Do you need a? Oh no, the question's just gone.
Oh, yeah, I hate it when that happens.
I know. The question was somewhere along the lines of, if I'm just going to go for a weekend, do I need just a B2B or solar as well? I would say if you've got a good enough battery capacity, so say for example if you buy lithium batteries so you can use pretty much, you know, the whole battery capacity, and you can charge everything, have all your lights on, you know, coffee makers, inverters, whatever, then no, a B2B will be fine. Plus the fact that you've always got this thing of, if it is running low, just start your engine for an hour and it'll boost it back up. So no, I would say, because beer's opening. Ooh. Solar power is by far more expensive than just putting a B2B in. So if you are just basically a weekend warrior or something like that, probably just put a decent B2B in and some decent batteries that will carry the capacity that you'll need for that time. It's only the fact that we go to places that are, you don't want to leave, so that we're sometimes there, you know, for like 5-6 days or something like that. And if it's sunny, then yes, we will soak up the lovely sun, and solar panels work great, and it is nice to do that without starting the engine. So, but if you're just weekend away, then no, just go for a B2B.
Truma. Does the hot air flowing towards the Truma unit have any issues at all? It doesn't, because we've separated them off, even though we
Yeah.
are using some of the existing ducting.
Yeah, in the last video I didn't really put a lot about it. I did explain it briefly, but I didn't want to bore you with all the different piping. Basically,
You
I
spent
bought,
so much time on it, you would
Yeah.
have been bored.
yeah, I bought extra pipes and fittings and everything else. So now we have both systems running around the van that don't actually come into contact with each other anymore. Simply for the fact that when I turned one system on and the other system on, I just wasn't getting the heat. It's like one was trying to overpower the other one or something like that. And what we were trying to do was heat up the van really quickly. Whereas the way we've got it now, where they're separated, we can have the LPG on overnight really low, so the Truma runs off LPG, and that keeps the pipes from freezing, because yeah, that happened to us, dropped all our water out.
Yeah,
'cause
we've
the
got like an emergency thing,
frost
haven't we?
protection valve
Yeah.
kicked in and dumped our water. So we have the LPG on overnight, just sort of like 10 degrees or so, just to keep the pipes from going frozen. And then we have the diesel heater during the day. But first thing in the morning now, we have everything on full just to heat us back up again.
Yep, absolutely. Someone said, what is the problem with LPG? We've not got a really local LPG, and we kind of got into the mindset of being careful with it when we were in isolation and we couldn't go out and get
Yeah,
anything
last
for
time,
10 days.
yeah.
And that was that 10 days that was the real pain in the bum.
Yeah.
And we didn't particularly want... Anyone driving around in a motorhome right now will feel that it's better than the first lockdown. We're not getting two fingers stuck up at us. We're not getting people
You
shouting
get
at us,
looks.
which is...
I've had a couple of looks
Yeah,
today.
like
Went to
unusual.
Tesco's, like motorhome, but other than that, that's been it.
Yeah, and it's better this time, but you still kind of feel like... Pardon me, like... people think you shouldn't be out, so we
Yeah.
just kind of limit the amount of time we're out. If we're in our normal spot, there's a nice local co-op we can go to, so
Yeah, we've got
and
everything
we
we
can walk
need,
there, so we don't.
but
It's literally
LPG
just
really.
that we
Yeah.
have to go to places for. So we just try to be as careful with it as possible.
And travelling around Europe, it's not so bad. You do plan routes on the way to LPG. Travelling around England, Scotland and Wales, parts of the UK and that we've been to, you do plan your route via an LPG stop. So rather than thinking, say for example, you get up one morning, you think, oh, let's drive to where they're today, and you just go, oh, I'll get diesel on the way, because you know that there's going to be diesel, at least every 10, 15 miles somewhere. LPG is becoming a lot more difficult to find. So we use a little app called mylpg.eu,
Yep.
which does help.
Yes, and people will. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to kind of put something into it as well. So if you find an LPG place, you can actually drop it on the map and tell them about it, tell them how much it is per litre. And if you go to an existing one, if you just literally hit the update for the date that you visited, then everybody else will know that it's been 2 days ago, 5 days ago, when people were last able to go and buy some from there, because sometimes it's 3 months ago, and in that 3 months it's actually closed down.
Yeah. So it's always worth checking that as well.
Yeah.
Someone's just asked, obviously they've seen the MOT picture that we put on Instagram, say the MOT's passed. So you've done nearly 12,000 miles in a year since the last MOT. Do you know your average mileage? I don't keep those stats, unfortunately.
No, it used to.
When I used to run my business and a company car and stuff like that.
You had to keep all of that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Mr.
but no, I don't know. The onboard MPG calculator says on average we get 29. If we're going down motorway, we shall see probably 36 sometimes, something like that.
Even less if I'm driving though, for some reason.
Yeah, it's true actually. If we're driving around towns or up mountains, then it drops way below that. But no, I don't. Unfortunately, I didn't keep all the receipts and do all that kind of stuff for that.
So someone's asked for where's the best place to buy a multi-network SIM card for the broadband device. There's something new being launched soon, isn't there, about that? Did we read something the other day?
I've tried one in the past about a multi-network broadband SIM card, and they're not great on my experience, simply because if you imagine these companies are buying it off the main providers, and therefore there's going to be some sort of restriction. Essentially, if I was EE and I sold mine to, who's the other one now that runs off EE? Virgin. If I sold my data to Virgin, and my customers were in high demand on my network, I would give my customers priority over the Virgin customers, because they're not the priority. And that was my experience, is that these other networks, whatever they're called, don't get the same data rate as the primary network. So yeah. The other thing is, if you're traveling around Europe anyway, you don't need all these different SIMs. You just have the same SIM you use in the UK, and it just allows you to connect to all the different networks, and you can choose the best one, which we did all the time traveling around.
Dave said he's not come on here for this abuse. And you see, Rosie, hi sweetie. Apparently she's watching the telly because we keep saying her name.
We have yet to meet Rosie.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've not seen their new house. I've not
I
been and
know.
had a bath.
We've seen his van. What's left of it?
Yeah, we've seen the outside of his van. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna.
All
have to
these
do...
people that are saying suspend your pump from this and do all that, it doesn't work, unfortunately.
Well, it's not worked on ours.
No, well, you've got to understand it. It's a solenoid, so you've got two metal pieces smashing into each other to create a vacuum to pull fuel through. That's on a rigid fuel line that connects straight into the diesel pump. The diesel heater. Our diesel heater is fastened down tight to the floor of our van, which is a composite material, and that sound transfers through the diesel heater into the floor and resonates around the van. So in our circumstance, everybody's hints, even the little cases, the rubber case that you put around it, we tried
everything
that.
is there. We've got everything on that thing.
Yeah, Kev suggested pipe lagging. We tried that.
That actually that was a really good one,
It
wasn't
made
it?
a difference, but it
Yeah.
hasn't got rid of the main bit really. So yeah.
So we've got a few things with my food. So Mandy,
Oh.
do you have any more products from Spain? We are literally still eating the back of some of the things from Spain, and because we're doing meat-free March, we're eating all the meat. Because if anything's left over in the van from Spain after then that's fine. But we're eating, so we've got lots and lots of sliced chorizo
Yeah.
and lomo ham and the tiny little bits of the chopped up ham and
Yeah, we've
bits
got a
like that.
nice few
Nice
days
little
left
meals
of
going through
eating it
to
all.
eat up all of the Spanish food that's left. Calv's having the chicken and chorizo paella for dinner.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
epic meal.
Like that
I need
one.
to have that again.
Someone's asked, did the MOT station say anything about the tyres? If you just joined now, I did mention about that. I'm doing a video on Tuesday which is all about the tyres, and they'll go through every question, including MOT questions and things like that. I had a good chat with the MOT tester today about the tyres, so yes, lots of information. All of it good, so nothing negative.
Apparently you're a git. Brian, why
Oh.
is John a git? Have I missed something?
That
I mean,
may-
I think he is anyway,
That
but
may be Brian that was asking the questions about the
about
stereo.
the
he's just brought.
stereo. Sorry, don't like them.
I did make a disclaimer a few weeks ago though, saying, unfortunately, I like my gadgets, and yeah, because I said that I changed things an awful lot, and you said it's surprising I've not changed you yet, and obviously, I don't need to change you.
Look, because I'm still usable. I still work well.
You do you look really well.
And this is going to sound completely complacent and all of this stuff, but you just can't upgrade me.
No, I don't
It's
need
just
to.
nothing
There's
better.
nothing. No, that's it.
Nothing better.
No. Even a couple of solar panels wouldn't make you any better.
It'd probably make me worse. I'm going to talk more. Monday power.
Oh dear.
Mark's asked, how long roughly does a 6 kilo assuming gas last with Mandy's cooking and heating? If you talk about cooking, we can get, we got new gas about a week ago. And
Yeah, just over a week
the
ago.
needle has barely moved.
Yes.
Because we've not been using it for heating, we've been using the diesel heater.
Yes.
And we've literally just been using my the gas for cooking.
Yeah.
And it's barely done anything.
Yep, not
literally,
touched it.
as soon as you start using that heating and hot water, it burns through it like you wouldn't
Yeah.
believe.
Rapid. So other quick question. This would have led really well into me saying about solar panels for you.
I'm going right down to the bottom of the list, by the way.
Oh,
You
right.
stay where you are.
I am at past. Oh
Right.
yeah, sorry, I'm about half an hour behind everyone else. Sorry about
I
that.
was going to say,
I'm
just so
trying
we
to
don't
read
do
through
it,
all the questions.
Because last time that's how we missed saying bye to
Yeah.
bedtime to Molly and Maisie. So
Ah, right, okay.
I'll go down the bottom.
What size solar panel would I need just to top up the main battery and laser battery? 50 watts would be fine. Just connect to 50 watt. Most of the 50 watt solar panels are 12 volt as well, so you can almost check with each one if it's possible. You can connect them directly to the battery and it will keep it topped up. Just leave them in the window of the van. Right.
I'm going to have to go up a little bit and then come down because everyone's talking about something and I've no idea what they're talking about and I can't find it.
All right.
How do you confuse Mandy in one easy lesson?
Any tips to how to find love on the road? I would ask CJ, Alex, Kite Van Man. Who else is looking really loved up with somebody new lately? Oh, Mel's Van World.
Yep.
So yeah, go ask those three, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to know.
Which is good because if John gave you a good answer, I wouldn't know what to do with that information.
What's your thought on the new laws in put? Oh wow, I am quite far behind, aren't I? What age is Cooper?
Cooper is 11.
Yes.
He'll be 12 in June.
June, yeah. His birthday's about 3 days away from mine. And I'm going to be 50 again next year, because last year was awful, so I'm going to write it off.
AD,
Oh, right.
and I'm assuming Joe, hi
Yeah.
guys, are sat watching us while eating Cray Baked chocolate brownies.
That's mean. Right, thanks very much.
I'm sorry if I keep doing this, it's so I can see past the microphone.
Oh, to see yourself.
Yeah.
You are there. You're half there. You really should come over this way.
Well, I can't, there's a table in the way, I told you.
Should we spin the camera around for more Mandy?
No one wants more Mandy.
Yeah.
Make sure there's enough John. You have to
We-
lean in there.
There you go.
No, we don't want. Come back. Come back.
I'll lean over. What's this? It's a lot of people talking about Portugal. I'll let you have your conversation about Portugal because I think the best way for us to talk about Portugal is once we've been there and experienced what's going on.
Yeah. I do think there will be more restrictions. It seems that there's always been restrictions there, but they're just literally putting the foot down with them now, aren't they? So
yeah.
I'd be more impressed if it was cheese-free March. No, Andy, just no. There's no such thing as cheese-free anything.
No.
Nope.
Life is cheese.
Well, can be.
Mostly, yeah.
Cheese, eh?
Oh, apparently Croatia doesn't particularly like overnight camping either.
No, I see. I read that because I wanted to go to Dubrovnik, and we were saying that we could have a drive round there, but it's campsites only, and apparently they're very strict about it.
As long as the campsites are, I wouldn't say prolific, but as long as there are a lot of campsites,
it seems that
all
of the ones that are on like the coast, or it's very rare that there are any on the coast because you see Dubrovnik's literally just built on the coast. So it seems that loads of people still go and do it though. Steve and Lindsay did. So it must be nice to get there. But yeah, no wild camping.
No. Someone's just asked, do you still have the double din head unit you installed? We bought it and had a nightmare fitting due to quad lock fitting. No issues about quad lock on ours. And our van isn't CAN bus. You've mentioned about CAN bus. And no, I have a new one. So sorry about that. I'll mention more in probably another 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month's time. I'll give you an update on the new stereo.
Aye. I was asking why we're going meat free. So when we were in Spain in January, and we keep thinking of going vegan, doing a veganuary thing. Not lots of people do it.
Not vegan. I like cheese.
Well, no, but we did think about it, but we were saying that the cheese would be the thing. And our daughter's vegan, and she eats some wonderful stuff, and we've gone through all the meat-free things. So whenever during the last lockdown, and just after when we were seeing them, we were eating loads of vegan meals using the Naked Glory mince and sausages, and we found the Richmond meat-free sausages are the best meat-free sausages in the world. There's so much stuff out there now that there seems to be no reason to eat meat.
Well, kind of, but the idea of the video is that we'll go over it as we make each meal and talk about it then, so that you know more of the details of which ones we've liked, because we've been trying out a few, you see, so it's not like we're blindly going into it.
No, so we've got a good idea already for what we do, and John likes texting our daughter saying, I've had a vegetarian day today, and we literally would have had like jacket potato with cheese and beans for dinner, and then cheese on toast for tea. Yeah.
Oh, if you want to go vegan, dry toast.
Dry toast, or when Flora Buttery used to be vegan.
Yeah.
Then we'd have Flora Buttery on toast, and that would be that.
Speaking of vegan, anybody having another? Oh, sorry, someone said. Oh, Campervan Chris said, are you having another cheese night with Daz or Baz? And
no, Baz.
Hopefully, yes. Obviously, there are restrictions that we're going to be spoiling that for some time.
I think as soon as we want to do another cheese night, that there is going to be a queue.
Yeah, Daz is hundreds of miles away, and obviously we can't all be in the same space right now, so yeah, but as soon as we can, yes, oh hell yes.
Yes. And Darren is John's adopted son.
Oh, somebody asked that. Oh yes, somebody else that says we were there for the cheese too.
It's all about the cheese.
It is, everyone likes cheese.
And Dave said, oh my god, meat-free March, are you coming to stay with us? If we can, Dave, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any excuse.
Yeah, and Joe cooks really nice vegetarian food, so
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. You don't need an excuse, but there's one there.
Well, apparently right now you need an excuse to travel.
And you know what, Dave?
That's essential travel.
If your computer needs fixing,
yeah,
you can ask John.
Yeah,
that's stretching the work thing a little bit, isn't it?
No. He keeps having network problems and he's working from home. He needs to call a network engineer.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Sorted.
Does the recent quarantine regs mean campervan owners travelling back to the UK have to stay in a hotel? I think you do, actually. Only because I don't think they realise about people that live in vans, but yeah, I think you have to still stay in the hotel.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that one's going to work. Someone wants to try it out and let us know.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things because it's a weird one because that form that we had to fill in on the way back, you have to tell them where you've been for the last 10 days.
Yes.
And it's only red countries at the minute, isn't it, that you have to do. So I suppose if you took more than 10 days to get back, then you might get out around that anyway. I don't know how it works and how stringent they are with stuff like that. I just know you can't lie or you get 10 years in prison.
Yes. So. They're impressed if it was cheese free March. Oh, you just read that one out.
Yes, I
haven't you?
have.
Yeah.
All right, Ethel.
Hey. Oh right, someone's saying about the pubs. As soon as they're going to book into the pub. Yeah, I don't blame you. In and Out burgers are the best. Oh, are they meat free?
Oh, we wanted to have if
We went in. I forget where we were now. Somewhere in
San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco somewhere. And there was a line outside, and we decided we weren't going to wait in the line. And then, probably about 3 weeks afterwards, we then worked out it was the In and Out burger that we're probably waiting for ages. So yeah, never mind. Right then. So anybody else got any questions? Because we've just gone over the hour. I don't wish to keep everyone tonight.
Yeah, we're staying on for more than an hour.
Are we?
Yeah, we're fine.
Apparently
we're
staying on for more than an hour. Okay,
we're fine. Everyone tell us. We'll stay on. We'll go for overwhelming majority. Not just me, because I do rule the van, of course. Everybody knows this.
Oh, someone's asked. Now, this question should be really directed at Darren. What's the verdict on Swift motorhomes? Ask Daz, he's got one. The Sundance Kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Personally, the ones that we walked around, I don't know if they were Swift or Eldis or whatever, but all the ones that we walked around were not of a quality that ours is, even though it's 5 years old. So, yeah.
Yeah, we know people that... Have you just said that? We know people that work in Swift.
I've not mentioned that yet, no, but yeah, we do know that people work in Swift, and they do cut corners quite a lot. Productivity rather than quality apparently is the key in that factory. So yeah.
Why did you go from a 2,000 watt inverter to a 3,000 watt inverter?
Pure sine wave, so that we could run other things, in particularly to charge both e-bikes at the same time. That was the only reason, really.
So everybody that's commented and said Mandy's coffee.
No, it's nothing to do
Actually,
with
wrong
coffee.
on that one, because my coffee maker, he had to make sure the coffee maker worked on 2,000 watts.
Yeah, well, on a modified sine wave. So,
modified sine wave.
But yeah, the coffee maker's about 1,500 watts, something like that. So 2,000 watt was the last one to run the coffee maker, but since then we upgraded it so we can run it on. It was mainly the e-bike chargers.
Yeah. However, as well, my coffee maker runs so much better on this pure sine wave one, doesn't it?
Aye. Someone's asked, they've just bought the gear that you've mentioned in your last video. Any tips on running the wires through the motorhome? I put a kind of instructional bit on there, which was ours has got roof fence. They're like capped, but they're still roof fence, and I just basically took the cable through the roof side, in, through, and down, and it's not leaked and nothing comes in. So that's the way I did it. Would we consider getting Cooper a little friend?
Is it I want a dog called Colin?
So specifically, if you know out there's a dog called Colin's up for adoption, please don't get in touch.
I think the van is perfect size for Coopy, because we know he's got his mobility issues. I think if he had to work around another little dog, then it would be more difficult for him. And what we wouldn't want to do is that. And anybody that's seen puppies near Coopy kind of goes,
Yeah, he's
not too keen.
Doesn't like children or little puppies that are all in his face and all hyper.
But however, if we ever go anywhere near a rescue centre or online and I see that there's a dog called Colin, I can't guarantee anything.
Dear me.
And someone said, affable camper van, why doesn't Mandy drink filter coffee and save electric? Because in the van, the majority of the time, using electric is free. And using gas, obviously there is a limit to the amount of LPG we've got in the tanks. So I tend to go for the Nespresso machine as much as we can get away with, depending on what our dependency on the batteries is going to be and how much solar and things we've got. A lot of the time I will have a couple of coffees, 3, 4, coffees in the morning using an espresso machine, and then if I drink anything else after that, then I will boil the kettle and have instant or a cafetiere or all the coffee.
Yeah.
Basically, all the coffee.
It's all about coffee for Mandy.
It's all about coffee.
Someone said, do you hate the coffee maker? No, but we'd probably have about 2 months worth of power if it wasn't for the coffee maker.
But he loves me, you see.
Yeah.
This is the thing. And I come with coffee. Actually, no, he loves me when I've had coffee.
Do I?
Well, remember
I
when we
love you
went
more when you've had coffee.
remember when we went to France for that surprise thing where we did have the motorhome and then we sold it and then we went to France and
Oh,
we
yeah,
had
for
to do the
driving trip.
hotels.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody knows that there either are no kettles in
yeah.
French hotels or very, very bad ones. And John had to have like at least 4 days of incredibly cranky Mandy while she came down off the coffee.
You crashed.
Yes. I did well. I think the holiday buoyed me back up again. So I was kind of like on a par with how I am normally. So it worked out well, really, didn't it?
Coffee balances Mandy out, in other words.
Oh. And Lee, my shoulder is much better, although I did have a bit of a bad thing the other day. I think it is down to Cooper pulling me around all the time. So, but yeah, it's much, much better than it was. So thank you very much.
Someone's asked about running negatives to make an earth. If your camper van, as in it's a van that you convert into a camper van, so therefore you've got a metal chassis all the way around you, then yes, absolutely. Never forget that vehicle manufacturers spent millions on research and development of electrical systems, so don't ignore what they do, and they earth things all around. Your starter motor is earthed, your battery's earthed, your engine is earthed, all to the chassis. So your chassis is your common earth or negative. So yes, should do that. Why doesn't Mandy drink filter coffee?
I've already answered
Oh,
that.
there you
Ethel.
go.
Have you just scrolled down loads?
It flicked, yeah, why that I hit it by mistake, obviously. Or something happened.
So if anyone asked a question between like 8:40 and 8:51, then please feel free to
Ask it again, because we may have just missed it. Let's see, motor. Oh, has the motorhome got a name? It has.
It has.
And you can
but
find out in the Roman Radford's video.
They've already answered it.
Oh, you know, they gave it away. Oh, dear me.
Your favourite place to stop over in France? Anywhere in France. We have yet to find a bad stopover in France.
We've had some
beautiful,
dark, dull, dreary days in France on little airs and stuff like that, and still sat there going, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because we adore France at all, and lots of people are saying if ever we could buy land, or I know there's lots of people buying land at the minute, would that ever be anything that we did? We've been on the half looking for land or a gîte or something in France for about 20 years.
Yeah.
We've just never either had the gumption to do it, the money to do it,
Yeah, the
or
money's the big one.
opportunity or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
But we're still looking.
We're still looking. If
Yeah.
the right one comes up, then we'll
Yes.
ask your mum and dad.
Dear me. Someone's asked, do we live full time? Yes, we do live full time in our motorhome. And we have done now. This is our, we're into our second year. So we moved full time into our last van in December 2019. So, yeah.
And someone said something about why did you update your Netgear?
Updated the Netgear to get faster speeds because I noticed that my newer phone was getting much faster data speeds than the old Netgear router was getting, so I updated it so I could get faster network speeds, and it helped the other day immensely because when we did this chat video with the Roman Radfords, I had to upload the video so that Steve could edit it for their channel, and a 26 gig file took about 35 minutes, whereas on the old router that would probably have taken about 3 hours. So that's the big difference, and I'm not paying extra. I'm not paying anything extra to EE for it, so it's the same service, so why not get the fastest speed possible, really. I did see another one. Oh yeah, what's your very long-term plans? And I did see a question before about somebody else saying what's your plan for when you're too old to start travelling around, and Mandy's pretty much answered that one there. Our plan really is to find somewhere in France that we can go visit while we're travelling, and then maybe after we've finished our travelling time, whenever that is, maybe we settle down and live in France or whatever. Don't know really, but it's to obviously have hopefully a spot of land with a little house on it. If not, a small house somewhere nice in the UK that we can potter around and there's something local to do and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean the real dream would be like most people to have something that you don't mind leaving to go and still see places, and that's why I think France is high on the list for me if ever we did do anything like that, because there's just limitless places to go and have a look at and things to do in France, and then it'd be just nice to go and get back somewhere and then have somewhere, even if it's just a barn with solar panels on it and a little bit of land, so we can go back
That'd be
there,
nice.
and then our friends can come there if everybody else still has their motorhomes long term, and we're not like the only one left and everyone's decided to go and get houses and retire properly, you know.
We'll just be living on a beachfront somewhere until we get moved on.
Yes.
And then they go, can you move your van? You're not allowed to stay here. Oh, we can't drive anymore, love. We haven't got driving licenses.
There's one. I wonder whether until the tow truck comes and we drive off really quickly.
I'm trying to find some questions. Any questions about wheels and tyres, by the way? They're all been kind of catalogued and everything else, so the video will be out on Tuesday. So I'm not going to reply to any more wheels and tyre questions. All I'll say is, if you want to add your question or check what questions are going to be, our Instagram account, which is John Mandy on Tour. There was a post on there a couple of days ago, and everyone's questions are in there. All the questions that I'm going to respond to, and basically cover in the video anyway. So I'll cover that now.
So Lou's saying that they had a bit of problem with lag, and now their internet is better now, but their internet is crap in bad weather. So I can just imagine like Joni in the back garden pedaling, like just to keep the internet going. Oh, is it a bit more up to date in Kent? I don't know.
Mandy knows nothing about the internet.
I know nothing about.
She thinks that hamsters on wheels power the internet.
I also think that bad winds affect solar.
Yeah.
So we don't say anything about that, do we?
Drinking game. Every time you hear solar panel, that's one finger of your drink. Cooper is 2 fingers of your drink. Tyres 3 fingers. Good luck, you lovely lot.
Right, so I just need to drink all of this then.
In one. No, don't.
I've not chugged a beer since at least yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. Stuart Wells has just pointed out that when he heard us leaving Portugal and Spain and giving the reasons why, and things are still up in the air, then it was our supposition of what was going to happen. Yeah, definitely called that one. It was definitely the right decision, because if we were stuck out there, it would be very expensive for us to get back now, because we'd need COVID tests just to pass through different countries' borders.
Yeah, because apparently you have to get a COVID test to get from Spain to France and then get out of France and into the UK. So and it's like €100 a time or something. And
then there's the possibility of the hotel cost.
Yeah, no, but that's coming in a little bit, isn't it? But we were really unsure when we decided to come back whether we made the right call. So when you make a difficult call, it always lingers a little bit, doesn't it, to something of like, did I do the right thing? And then the more you see Spain and Portugal locked down, we just figured that it was the right thing to do to come back. We're very happy with our decision.
Yeah. Heidi's asked, could we make a short video about the fridge? I'm not really sure there's anything that wasn't included last week. It's efficient. We mentioned about the power it uses. It keeps its temperature. It's not an ambient temperature or so many degrees above ambient temperature. It keeps its temperature. So it's exactly like a domestic fridge with a compressor in the side of it. Ours is just 12 volts, not 230 volts. It's more lightweight than the last one. It opens both ways, which is cool.
Hey.
You get lots of stuff in it. You're cheeky.
And the good thing is compared to the last one was really narrow and
shallow.
all the things. And now this one is deeper, so you can utilize the shelves a lot more
Yes.
than the old one, so which does mean we are making
storage.
far better use of it and getting far. And it's nice that it's not we've not got those like metal fins on the back, because
Yeah.
it just means that there's something, because we used to have them at the back with the cans of pop and stuff, didn't we?
Things
so
that
it's,
stick to
it's
it and that.
stick to it. So it's definitely better,
But
a million times better.
If you've got more questions, Heidi, then just or specific questions, just ask down below and we'll get to them in about 20 minutes.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
I am scrolling down to try and get through them all.
AD says everything has to be cheese free, but AD is weird. Sorry, AD. He's lovely. He's absolutely brilliant at cabinetry. Look at the superb cabinetry.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he doesn't like cheese.
Yeah, he doesn't like the smell of cheese and stuff, so
Yeah,
it's
even
very
his-
strange.
Which is weird, because he had to come and do the fridge after we'd had our first pizza takeaway, and in absolutely months and months and months, and the van smelled a bit cheesy.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, AD. You coped with it really well.
He did, yeah, welcome,
Yeah.
mate. A lot of people are saying Richmond meat-free sausages rock. Yes, they do. They're gorgeous, but Mandy's got a mega hack for a
McDonald's breakfast bun.
the McDonald's breakfast bun. Basically, get the meat-free sausages.
Yeah, the Richmond meat-free sausages, and it's just sage, onion, garlic, and another herb I can't remember. And it is almost like the
What do you do,
McDonald's
just
sausage.
squid
Yeah,
them?
literally, there's no casings on them, so you don't have to worry about that. Literally,
Right.
squidge it all up, put all of the
mix.
the
in.
mix and the herbs and stuff in, and make them into super, super thin, quite big patties, because they shrink up a little bit.
Yeah.
Can't tell the difference between them and the normal
Banging.
McDonald's ones. They are
Yeah.
really good. And, excuse me, especially for meat-free March, I'm going to try making chorizo with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because life's chorizo as well. We love that stuff, and it's good for adding
tasty.
flavour. And it is mostly like paprika and herbs and spices anyway. You can't really taste pork in there. So I figured I'm going to use them and see if I can make myself some meat-free chorizo.
And here's a question for you, only because Mike Johnson said, do you miss going to work? I still go to work. So, do you miss going to work?
No.
No. Is that it?
I miss
Is that the short answer?
I miss a handful of people at work.
Right.
I actually miss doing my job a little bit, because I did really enjoy that job. But going to work, having to stay there as long as I did, I just mean like 9 till 5:30. I miss having the gym at work, because we had a gym at work. But no, not the whole thing with work, with being tied to there and doing it all. And I don't actually know how I had time to have a full-time job beforehand, because I'm just so
Crazy.
busy now. I don't
So
know.
busy.
It's terrible.
Someone's given you and Em and Lou a challenge. Your next eating competition is alphabeti spaghetti off a plate. I'm taking no knife and fork.
Oh, interesting. And messy.
Yeah. Very messy.
That sounds good though. I like the sound of that. It's good. I need to do the donut challenge again, because I did it because we literally had like a 2-day-old donut left when we saw Em and Lou's video. So I thought I'd do that. So we had a crack, and then the donut moved over and touched my thumb, which was noticed. Within about 5 seconds, I licked my lips, which was also noticed. Apart from me, because I probably would have stopped if I'd have noticed that I'd already broken all of the rules to do all of this. So yeah.
I
need
noticed
to do
at
it
the
again.
time, but I didn't want to stop you. You look like you're having a good bit of fun.
I do like a good eating challenge.
You do, don't
I
you?
really do.
I can see now a lot of people in the comments really thinking that we're not going to survive meat-free March, and that I should be looking forward to junk food June and July.
Just because I'm doing meat free doesn't mean it's going to be junk free.
Yeah.
So I am the queen, at least in this van, of fakeaways. I do a good fakeaway, so I can also do a good meat free fakeaway.
And Mandy's got I wouldn't say it's excellent because she's failed a couple of times, but she's got a really good sense of ingredients, so a good palate, so that you can pick out the ingredients in things that we eat. Well, when we used to go to those things called pubs and restaurants, all those times ago.
Restaurants, yeah.
When we used to do that and we'd have a nice meal or something, she'd go, right, I can make that. And then usually within a couple of days, we'd have trial 1, trial 2, and then on version 3, pretty good.
Aye, I'm normally
So,
quite good with that.
including like things like the crumpets you made
Oh yes,
recently as well
yep.
in Spain.
Oh yeah, they were epic. Them. Just don't make them while you're 2,000 meters up, because they
Yeah,
don't
that
do the
was
bubbles.
odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, the yeast does not like to ferment at those heights. Someone I've just seen. Oh, we're getting so many comments now. I've kind of got to the point where it keeps flicking up. But I think it was Marcus who said, "Should have seen the look on your face when you said meat free." It was John's idea.
Yeah, actually, it's my idea. It's meat-free March is something that I thought it'd be funny to do because I know all the reaction from you guys is obviously spot on. But I thought it'd be something funny to do. We already eat quite a few meals that use like Naked Glory and meat-free solutions and stuff like that. And I just wanted to try and see if we could expand on that one. So this is interactive. This isn't just us showing you. This is you telling us too about stuff that you like that you think we should try.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it's just meat-free. It's not vegan.
It's not vegan.
So,
no.
no.
So we'll be eating eggs, we'll be eating cheese.
Yep.
I'll be finishing off my Spanish sweeties that I've got, which I've got gelatin in. It's literally meat.
Yep. And there'll still be like things like bacon sprinkles to make
But
up
they're
for.
vegan, though.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, just to make up for the fact that, you know, like, say if you're having a cheeseburger with the Naked Glory burgers or something like that, then we would still have nice cheese and to
But you
compensate.
can't call 50p for 10 slices of American
It's
shitty
nice, though.
cheese.
It's nice.
It is nice.
You can't have a burger unless it's got plastic American cheese on
But
it.
I think it's like 10% cheese and then 90%
if you're lucky, yeah.
chemicals.
Stuff.
Whatever
Orange stuff.
Yeah. Oh dear. But yeah, we love our crispy fried onions, and we love the bacon bits and stuff. And I think sometimes you make a burger, it's all about all the sauces and things that you pop on it, which is pretty good. And with everybody else that says there is no decent vegan cheese, I think the closest to
We've yet to
decent
try it.
cheese is the Applewood smoked cheese, but I'm not a smoked cheese fan in the first place, so
And we've yet to try vegan camembert as well.
yeah, apparently Marks and
Looking forward to
Spencer's
that
do a
one.
really good. I think Catherine, I think she's on it at the minute. I think she tried the vegan camembert
Okay.
from Marks and Spencer's, and that looks epic.
Cool. Here's a sexist question. Does Mandy have a Hoover in the van?
Oh, considering it is Manda that uses it most of the time, I don't know if it's that, but yes, we have the Dyson from the house, the Dyson Animal.
It's pretty cool. Charges, well, there is a very expensive 12-volt charger if you want, but if not, we shove it on whenever the inverter's on for coffee and stuff like that.
Or if we're driving anywhere, which obviously isn't that much nowadays, but we
Yeah.
just do that
Normally
and,
do
and
that.
charge it while we're going.
Speaking of driving, do you prefer travelling around the UK or Europe? I'm taking you mean continental Europe from that one. It's just nicer in continental Europe because they're more set up for travelling around and airs and things like that. But saying that, the UK has got some amazing places to go visit and amazing countryside, so it's a difficult one in all fairness. I'd probably say for the ease of finding park ups, France, Spain, that kind of thing. For exploration and going seeing things I've not seen before, I still like UK. So still perfectly happy to go to Cornwall, Wales, Scotland, Lake District. As we found out last year, all the way around Northumberland, we'd not been there before, Northumbria. So we really enjoyed exploring around there as well. So,
Someone says, what happens when you argue in such a small space? Generally, I'll go for a walk.
yeah, the bigger space outside becomes quite popular to one of the...
Yep. And it's referred to with things. It's really quite strange. It's like, oh yes, I just went for a fury walk, and it's there is so much stomping, so much stomping. Meat free is funny until bacon. Yeah, there's no real good better. This is not bacon.
It's still not bacon.
Is the best of the bacon. And if you're adding it to food, like a pasta dish or anything like that, then I do think it's a really good alternative. We've tried having it with Christmas dinner, and we've tried having bacon sandwiches, and the texture's just not quite right. They need to work on that texture. I think it's too thick for us because we like the really nice thin crispy bacon, and that's just too thick, and it's not quite doing it, I don't think.
No. What system would you recommend so we can use our Fire Stick in the motorhome? If it's just the Fire Stick you want to use, you can turn your phone into a mobile hotspot. As long as your phone's got signal, turn that into a hotspot. The Fire Stick will see the Wi-Fi hotspot from your phone and then carry on working just like it was anywhere else. In our van, we've obviously got the Wi-Fi set up that we've made the video about, and everything in the van then connects to that. So the CCTV, Alexa, don't want to say her name in case she upsets all of you now, 'cause she's listening now.
Yep.
The Fire Stick, all that kind of stuff.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
She don't understand anything, Alexa. So yeah, the
Say it
Fire
again.
Stick and all that kind of stuff, it all works off the Wi-Fi in the van. So, did you have any problems with the LED bulbs on your LMOT? No.
Nope.
He did comment that the LED headlamps have DRLs, so the LEDs look like they're factory. That the beam pattern was all right. It wasn't too dazzling. Checked all the stuff out and said no issues with
No
it.
problems at all. Because
No.
we asked specifically about
Yep.
the things that people had pointed out to us.
Yep. I went in there, explained the questions I got, and I wanted to video it, and he said you can't do that because it's an MOT test station. So I said, could I ask you to spend some time to do a pre-test and go over everything, which we did, and will be in next week's video, or little bits of it will be in next week's video.
Man, did you use a Ridge Monkey? I have a Ridge Monkey. I tend to cook almost everything in my saute pan because it's the bee's knees. It literally does. It cooks everything in that thing. I love it.
You know what I miss you've not done for ages?
What?
Cheese toasties.
Cheese toasters in the Ridgie?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get, the CD thingy bread, the malted bloomer from Aldi, you can get 4 slices in a Ridge Monkey, the XL one, to make cheese toasties perfectly. Makes absolutely brilliant toasties. So, but yeah, I've not used it for a while. Can't remember what I used it for. Chips probably.
Yeah. I was going to say now, wasn't it the cheese and onion pie? No, was that something else?
Yeah, that was in the oven,
Okay.
cheese and onion pie.
There is no. Oh, I've just got to your no decent vegan cheese.
Looking forward to having a copy of Mandy's cookbook signed. When it's sorted, you're sorted.
Come on, then get on it.
I did something today.
Did you?
I did.
Wheat crunchies, bacon flavour are the best. I do like bacon flavour wheat crunchies.
Oh yeah. Do you know that if you get the bacon frazzles from Tesco, are vegan and incredibly bacony? We should just crunch them up and put them on burgers and stuff. Like
Try it. They
What's
look
that?
quite crunchy.
burger place in town.
Oh, they put all the different
You
stuff on it.
used to get like Monster Munch and
Oh, yeah.
Frazzles and stuff on burgers. It was absolutely brilliant
When she
place.
says town, she means Manchester because that's where we used to live.
Yeah,
so.
sorry, it is just town to me. Town.
Someone said, if you were to purchase a new motorhome, would you consider left-hand drive? No, I don't think so. Especially not with the new Schengen rules and all that kind of stuff. I think we're still sort of going to spend more time in the UK than we would out of the UK. So, still got to be on the right side of the driving seats, not
yes.
the left-wronger side.
Left wrong.
Actually, I prefer driving in the right side. I prefer driving a UK van when we're in Europe because I think I can see better. I like the angles of the mirrors and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't mind it at all, actually.
Can you use instant beef gravy? Bisto beef gravy is meat free.
Oh, yeah, you found that one out, didn't you?
Well, Em told us
Well,
'cause
the
when we were away.
Chicken one isn't, though, is it?
I think it's one of them isn't. No, I think all of them are meat free. It's just that they're not all vegan because obviously we had the thing with Jem when we were looking for them.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I don't think there are any. And Oxo now do meat free beef Oxos, so very tasty but not beefy.
Have we travelled around Germany much?
2 days did we spend there on the way to Denver?
Yeah, I personally have done. I did. It was on a video on my other channel years and years ago. I did a wacky rally, which was a lot around Germany and stuff like that. I think we've done a few days travelling through Germany in the motorhomes. Quite all right, but very industrious was our first impression. And then we saw a different side of Germany. We went to a different, where was it? That place with the, had like a maypole or something
in
like
the
that.
middle and a little ice cream parlour,
Yeah.
and it was a park for night, parking right in the
And
middle.
then we saw like all the different sides of it.
Oh,
And that.
it was
So,
beautiful, apart from the church that literally rang its bells every hour on the hour all through the night, and we were there on a Saturday morning and they started ringing the bells at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, that was fun.
Does your family miss you and do you miss them?
Oh,
Yes.
I think every time that we're on the phone to family right now, and your guys are probably going through exactly the same thing, is everyone's missing everyone. The fact that you can't go and see people, you can't hug them and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and because our grandson's is going to be 4 in March, he just keeps asking like, when are we going to see Nan and Pops next? And he doesn't quite get it, even though, you know, there's calls and video calls and stuff like that. But yeah, it's that is, I cannot wait. As soon as they allow touring and as soon as they allow you to even see people, even if there is still no hugging.
To meet up in a park or something
Or
like
anything
that,
like that. There's just going to be us driving around and waving to
Yep,
family from
all
afar.
of
I
them, yeah.
literally can't wait.
Question about the oven. Are we still going to change our little toaster mini oven? We are going to do a van tour soon, so if you don't know why we've got a stupid oven, you'll find out then. There is a van tour when we bought it, so if you want to go and look at that one, you can do. But yes, we have the smallest grill oven known to man, I think. And the sad thing is, AD, if he's still on here, he gave us a bit of advice about what we would need to do to be able to fit a normal size oven in there. And we did look at loads of different products that are available, and we would probably need a new making to fit a new oven in, because of all the different size cupboards and everything that's built around the way that our kitchen area is built. It wouldn't be possible to cut into one area to essentially it's very small, both in terms of width and height and depth. So to get anything in there, you'd have to expand the cupboards or chop into cupboards, and then the cupboard next to it wouldn't work, or the fridge wouldn't work and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare.
I've got my eye on eBay all the time to see if somebody is getting rid of like an old camper van, or there's some spare parts or something going on with an old oven that fits in there. It seems that we can replace it with an oven that will fit, but we can't replace
Not
it with a grill oven.
yeah.
And not quite ready to get rid of the grill aspect of it yet. We still need it a little bit, even though it is rubbish. So yeah, it stores all the baking trays in it nicely though, doesn't it? It doesn't rattle. So you know.
This is going to set off everyone's devices now, but I love the question: Siri or Alexa?
None of them went off in ours.
Whoa! Hey Siri. Did anyone's go off? Alexa, tell me a joke.
What is red and smells like blue paint? Red paint.
Excellent, well done. If you didn't hear that, that was what's...
I need to say it.
Go on.
What is red and smells like blue paint? Red paint.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Obviously, this artificial intelligence certainly helps Mandy after a few beers.
Oh my god, I love it.
Oh dear. Yeah, you're right, actually. Someone's just said, I'm on the wrong channel here. You're talking about meat-free, ironing, hoovering, the lack of cheese content. What happened? Hardcore, come on. Olympic breakfast and alcohol. Listen, we just said if these places open up, we'll be there. We want the Olympic breakfast. We want a Terminator 1.
What if they open up in March?
That's all right. We'll go in April. I'm not going into a restaurant, a pub or anything and ordering vegetarian food.
Oh, you see, I can't wait. I love
No,
a vegetarian. I want to
because
go
that's
and
just
order
the meanest
and
thing
really
ever.
nice, like aubergine parmigiana, because that is amazing food.
That's like taking somebody who's just come out of rehab for alcoholism into a pub to celebrate.
Yeah, it's actually
It's mean.
Yeah.
Back me up on that, or I think it's mean anyway. What pressures do you have on your tyres, John? I'm not doing any more tyre questions. They'll be in next week's video. Anyone who likes vegetarian food, Aldi do lattices, goat's cheese, and red onion spinach. Leek and cheddar. They're stunning. Better than
Ooh.
Greg's.
Nice.
Thank you, Mr. W. Does John know how to cook beans on toast? Someone said.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I can cook a
Can do
mean
beans on
on
toast.
toast with cheese on top.
Yes.
I can also cook crumpets, and I don't know if my sister's on here. Have you seen Jeannie on here?
I've not seen her now.
But for her family, she's got a big family. I once cooked them a full roast dinner assisted by Aunt Bessie's and all those Bernard Matthews type products that are just ping, yeah, that's done. So yeah, cook or warm up, reheat. It's not that much difference between them, is there?
Nope, not at all. COVID caravanners have made the 2-ingredient bagels and they were fabulous. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed them. There's
like
going to
the
be a whole
bagels.
section. I mean, and a lot of it is stuff that I've seen around and tried to change and make it's mine and not just something that's been taken off the internet. But there are so many things you can do with that 2-ingredient dough. Literally, so many things. So there's going to be a section in my cookbook all about them and what you can do with it. So
All
hopefully that'll be good.
all I'm seeing now is Tash and Darren going, "You've changed, John. You've changed." I've not changed. Still eating.
Ian's on. Hi, Ian. He said, "Are you getting the same visa as Dom from those weirdos?" We're not looking into
no.
doing anything like that just yet because you've got to spend 6 months of the year in Portugal,
Yeah.
you see, and they're more than happy to do that. They love it there. That's perfect for them. Whereas we've still got so much we want to see, so we wouldn't want to be tied down to 6 months in one particular country.
No.
So at the moment, it's literally 3 in, 3 out for anything that we're doing, which is more than fine for what we want to do. So we'll just crack on using the standard visa things. I think something's going to change about that anyway. I think they're going to just rejig it maybe.
You'd hope so. If not, we'll just get used to it and just manage it.
Yep, we'll just work with
yeah.
it, and by the time everybody gets out and by the time we're ready to start travelling, loads of people would have done it and used it and
We'd
figured
have
out
way
other
more
things,
ideas,
and there'll be
yeah.
so many more bits out there that make it better.
Yeah.
So.
Will, hi Will. Will has said you can ask him all about the tyres. So any more tyre questions, feel free to ask a little man in a little van.
Yep, he's just had his van lifted as well.
Yep.
So it's all all ready
Four-wheel
for the off-road
drive
stuff.
Berlingo.
Yes.
Gets it everywhere.
Yeah, a 4-wheel drive with a lift. He was one of the only ones that got himself in and out of Boondockers
Yeah.
without any questions.
Epworth as well.
And Epworth, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who can forget that, eh, Daz? Getting stuck in a field, eh, mate?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, Will didn't. And if the Wallycods are still on, Graham didn't.
Bless him.
Will you take your grandson in the van camping with you? I think when between the lockdowns and everything, we managed to get him in the van once.
Once.
Was it once for 2 nights?
Yeah, and once for during the day as well.
And
a
once
little bit,
during the
yeah.
day. And he absolutely loved it. This area that I'm in now folds down.
Yeah. The table drops to a lower level, and then the cushions make up a big-ish single bed.
It's perfect for a 3-year-old. Perfect for a 3. And he loved it because he loves being outside. He loved being outside with Coop and stuff. And I cannot wait. Not only can I wait, can we not wait to get him in the van with us again, because he is so interesting and cheeky and wonderful and lovely. Is also full on, and I think our daughter could very well, and her husband, of course.
Yeah,
could
need a break.
would really appreciate a few nights off. So
Yeah.
I think it would be good for everybody. So I can't wait for that as well.
Yeah.
Really can't wait.
Right, a couple of things someone's pointed out. They can't see the vessels I'm drinking from. So that and that. Now, I'm not going to say any more because you'll probably know what that contains, and you know for definite what that contains. So there we go. And the next one is VPN. VPN, Virtual Private Network. There are lots of YouTubers out there advertising all sorts of different VPN. My view as a data security expert on VPN is, yes, it is a virtual private network. It's just somebody else's network you join in. That's no more secure than any other network. Just be very cautious about what you're doing. If you want to go and look at content from a different country, so for example, if you want to watch Netflix and see what is available in the US, then you can just simply download the Opera browser for free, select VPN in America, and then you will suddenly be able to look at all of Netflix's offerings in America. It doesn't cost anything, and it is just a VPN. It's just you jumping from one area to another. As far as VPN security, don't ever think that a VPN is going to give you any security. It'll help you hide your IP address to an extent, but someone like me can always find you anyway. And the rest of it is just somebody taking money from you for not really doing a lot. So that's my view of VPNs.
I'm just reading the Alexa jokes that have been
I know.
have come through. Was it it says my Alexa's just told a joke about racing snails. Remove the shell and it becomes more sluggish.
Oh no.
Dear. Who goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night? A party pooper.
Oh, what?
Oh dear.
We're getting asked questions about, obviously, are you going to go to Switzerland? Are you going to go to Ireland, Germany? We're going to go to as many places as we can. We've got plans, certainly, for the next year of travelling, whenever that year is allowed to be starting to being open and everything else. But yes, definitely going to Ireland, and definitely going to other parts of Europe we've not been to yet. Switzerland we've been to probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, we've been on caravan holidays
Yeah.
and things before now, because it's beautiful just to nip in and out of. And of course, Mont Blanc Tunnel, you got to start somewhere in Switzerland, haven't you? So, but I think the problem, it is first world problems, because we've got a year's worth of travelling to catch up on. We keep coming up and seeing all these wonderful things, and people keep talking about these wonderful places, and do you want to go here and do you want to go there, and keep telling us about the places they've been to, which are beautiful, and your list just keeps getting longer and longer and longer and longer, which is not a bad thing at all. But doing it in the right order and prioritising which ones you want to do first, that is the problem.
Yeah, because the sad part is that most of the time you sit on Instagram and look at people where they're going, or YouTube, you can think, right, well, I'm off there next, and then 2 days later you see another one. Oh, right, well, I've got off there next. And yeah, it's just so difficult.
The world is so, and I think that's one of the things where we're a little bit loath to settle down anywhere yet, to choose anywhere, because we figured that the first thing was a 5-year plan. We'd have 5 years to start travelling and doing stuff before we started looking at things like that. But I think we're probably going to need longer. We didn't realise how far we would want to get to go to. So
I mean, the total idea was, I mean, Ash is on here now. Ash can testify about this. You will get in all sorts of situations and meet all sorts of nice people and find the most amazing spots in the most unlikely places, and you'll do that en route to somewhere as well. So whilst we're talking about, yeah, it'd be nice to go there and would be nice to go here, it's all the sort of places in between that you come across, and they'll change your mind and they'll change your travel plans and everything else. And that, for me, it's the journey, it's not the destination. I want to find more of those interesting places along the journey, which means that we've just got to be able to roam free and have nowhere to really think about, oh yeah, I need to be there right now. Just need to just go and just set off in a certain direction and see where we end up. That's what's really missing right now for me. Well, I know for all of us, but
not for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh dear me. 2 parrots sat on a perch. One said to the other, "Can you smell fish?" I'll stop in a minute.
Yeah. Here's another really good question that someone's asked. For someone who's considering buying their first van for occasional use with the hope of using it as much as possible, would you say there are priorities to look for in a first van? It's a difficult one in terms of, I don't know what your budget is, whether it's just you, where you want to be going. Is it sort of, when you say you want to be using it as much as possible, is that like for weeks on end, or is it, every weekend for 2 days or something like that? But I just make sure that it's got what you need. So you should know where you want to go. Will it get there? Do you want to stay on campsites? So should it have hookup? Do you like cooking? So should it have a proper oven rather than a little toastery thing? LPG and gas, that kind of thing. Are you a gas bottle person or are you a refillable? Are you going to use much of it? Are you going to be using it in the winter? Would you want a diesel heater? Those types of things. So it's a bit of an ambiguous-ish question, unfortunately. If you can tell me a little bit more, I'll try and help you out with that one. Someone said Netflix will not work if using a VPN. Strange Hours works fine if we use the Opera browser, and the VPN works okay. Never had an issue with it.
Nope.
Oh, what? Steve, that's not fair. We had Casbah today. Right, don't watch Steve's video on Sunday now. Show off.
No.
Um,
How are you getting on with renewing passports, not having a permanent address? Just because we don't live in a permanent address, we do have a care of address.
yes.
And that is perfectly fine, and everybody does it. And as long as you have an address that you can go to and do things,
Yep.
we do. Well, I say we do stay there. We have stayed there.
Well, yeah, it's a family member, so yeah, we're welcome there. We can stay there, but we use it for the bare essentials, which are unfortunately now governed by a law, which means that you can't use a virtual address for your driving license or your vehicle registration document, your V5. So we use a family member for those, and that's it. Everything else is just online, and we pick it up from wherever we are. As you've seen us picking up parcels and stuff like that, we can just pick them up from like Amazon lockers or eBay. You can get them dropped off at places like local shops, pick-up points and things. So yeah, it's nice and easy. How's the diesel heater faring up? Very nicely. Loving the diesel heater. Casbah's 15 minutes for me. About on the road, seem to pass whatever direction I go. Why would you mention that? There's 15 minutes from Casbah, and everywhere he goes, there's Casbah. I'm going to ring Kaz up and say, you need to take a break, mate. Change yourself so that your location's different. So all these people can't enjoy your food if we can't.
Well, that is a little bit mean.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just phone him up and say, "Can you get another butty bar and send it up north a bit?"
Yeah.
That'd be good.
That'd be fantastic. And just follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. That's it. Can you do one? Put someone in it, and then we'll just put a tow bar on the back, and then we just literally tow our own stuff. We'll feed them as well. Be fine.
Is stealth the way to go regards to campsites being full in 2021? I don't think there's anything like stealth anymore. I think the closest to stealth is going to be no solar panel, no windows. It's not going to be a fun camping trip. So most of us, as in people who like camper vans and motorhomes, can spot one from a mile away. So you'd probably guess that most people who want to move you on can spot one too.
Although we have seen where the police have been completely oblivious because they really do look like works vans. I think as soon as you put a solar panel on those,
Yeah.
that is what people tend to spot a little bit.
But as far as wild camping, don't forget CL and CS's, farm camping sites, all the private ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's loads of little ones dotted around everywhere, and also don't forget the fact that a lot of local authority city centre car parks allow overnight camping for a small fee.
Yeah.
So sometimes we know quite a few that it's literally just like £2, or it's free overnight camping or parking from 8 p.m. or 6 p.m. till 8
Yeah.
a.m. And you just chuck a couple of quid in there, and it sees you until midday, so you've got a chance to actually go and visit the town, or at least walk the dog, or whatever afterwards. So that's good. And talking about the dog, see how nice little segue into that. I've lost the question. Oh, Tracy's asked if Coop eats more now in winter than as her cat does as well, and you have to worry about him putting on weight. And I think he will now it's winter.
Yeah.
It's like he
probably.
does that, and I think he's gonna just a little. I did struggle getting his little suit on. I think he's chunked
Yeah,
up a
you
little
were
bit.
nasty actually. You called him a fat macker.
I didn't. I called him a chunky monkey, actually.
That sounded like fat macker. The first time.
No. How dare you?
You still fat shamed him.
I called him a chunky monkey.
He told me.
Did he tell you?
Yeah.
Did
said,
he?
Mum's just fat shaming Dad. Can you sort her out?
I tell you. How dare you?
Oh dear. All the insurance companies I have phoned for quotes ask you're not going to live in the van, are you? It's strange that, because there's loads of insurance companies out there that'll say they'll give you 365 days a year or 364 days a year of touring all the way across Europe. So, just tell them that's what you're doing.
If it's a 365-day policy, I'd love to know where they think you're going to go,
For the one
what
day.
they can get, or are they going to use it or not? Because we've asked them and they're
Yep.
like, no, it's a 365-day policy. So
Yeah. If you're away from your registered address, you're in your camper van, therefore you're not going anywhere else, you're living in your camper van, you're touring. So, it's just how you word it to them, and that's just the way it is. There was some question about wood burners as well. I believe there's a couple. The one that comes to mind is Adrian Flux will insure you if you've got a wood burner and stuff like that. So, yeah. Just ring around, basically.
it's funny because I'm reading backwards, and Ash has just said, I think you might find that one is big enough and then buy one slightly bigger.
Hey?
I don't know what I can't find the question. That's,
Oh, he's probably talking about vans,
oh,
because they've got two,
because
haven't
they've
they?
got one
really
that's big
big one,
enough, and
yeah.
then one that's slightly bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. That's not what my brain's thinking.
Someone's heard that Wales will be open for tourism from April.
Yep, I've heard that too. They're sending the kids back before, but both Wales and Scotland are sending the kids back to school before England is. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that they'll be opening up before other people as well, because they like to try and get one step ahead, don't they?
As long as, I know it says tourism, but as long as that means, that everyone from the UK can go to Wales and it's not just open for Welsh to tour Wales.
Although they did do that previously, and I kind of get that. It must be nice for the Welsh people to be able to drive around without all the tourism from everywhere else, not just the UK and other UK countries, but everywhere else as well, because it does get a bit packed, doesn't it? So I always feel sorry for people that live in tourist destinations, because it must be so difficult
Yeah.
for them to get to see
Yeah.
their own thing. I mean, Tash and John living in
Yeah, I used to live in
Portsmouth area.
Somerset, and that was really bad. During the off season, you could drive anywhere in 10 minutes, half an hour, but during tourist season, there was just gridlock everywhere. So yeah, it's not good fun.
No. Someone's asked if any views on the fitness to travel certificate for your pets. We've not actually done anything with that yet, so we can't quite comment. We know somebody who's been to the vets to talk about it, and it seems that they're going to be quite simple certificates, if not a little bit more costly to get hold of. And I know that there's a lot of people that are trying to get some European passports for their pets from whichever country that they can get them from.
Yeah.
That seems to be the easiest way to...
Somebody commented on Instagram on our post the other day to say that they've heard of a UK vet that has a friend in France that is somehow setting this up, where you take your pet to the UK vet and you get a European passport that's based in France. So I would have thought, if that's going to be possible and it's easy to do, then we'll do something like that maybe. But someone just commented they got fined in Fort William car park for staying overnight. I mean, there are signs
in
plastered
Fort William,
everywhere.
yeah, that you can't stay there. Yeah, because
and
we
it
would have
is
loved to have stayed there,
yeah.
because it's right on the lock, isn't
Yeah,
it?
right on the lock. It's dead easy to get to in and out of, and there's hundreds of spaces. If they just charge a £5 or something like that, a few quid overnight, then they'd make some money as well. But now they've got a view of it, and there's no way you're gonna.
Which is a shame, because all they need
break
to do
their
is do
views,
like 10 dedicated parking spaces where it's okay to go and stay overnight, and like say, pay a couple of quid. That's all you really need to do. Craze asked where we're getting our red diesel from. We've been getting it from the place where we've been staying. Thankfully they use lots of plant machinery and things, so they have red diesel there. However, we went on Google and looked out, it was like about a 40-mile radius from where we were, and there was like 16 places that did
Yeah.
red diesel at the pump.
We even found one just randomly driving around somewhere. I forget where it was now.
Like a Shell station or something, wasn't it? And there was literally
Big
a red
garage,
pump.
yeah, with a subway and everything else, and it had a red diesel pump. So
And we knew it because it was actually red.
yes,
It was a big red pump
that said red
that
diesel.
said red diesel on it. And it was like, oh my God, it's the first one we'd seen, but I don't think we've ever looked out for it before. But yeah, it's worked out to be, in theory at least anyway, quite easy to get hold of. And
Yeah.
it was, what was it, 82 pence a litre?
Yep, nice and cheap.
So nice and cheap.
Somebody's mentioning about they've got an inverter that only trying to read this question back now from Sean. Their electrics only work on hook up. It all depends on how your electrics are wired. Most vans electrics, the sockets inside the van, only work when you're on hook up. If you've got an inverter, that has to be connected to your 12-volt battery, and then you would have to connect into your inverter. You would need a system like we've got in our van. If you want to watch my recent video about electrics, that explains we've got an auto switch. So if we go and hook up, all the sockets around the van switch over to the hook up. If we unplug hook up, then all the sockets switch over to the inverter, obviously when we switch the inverter on. But that's not a standard system by any stretch of the imagination. It's a bit of a bespoke system. So it all depends how you set up. But if you're just on 12 volts, then your inverter would need to be obviously connected directly to the appliance, and that should work fine. Paul, hi Paul, which is the Off-Grid Nomad, by the way.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, he's just said it's going to be well crowded this year in the UK.
It is.
It probably is, but hopefully everyone will be nice about it. No emptying the shitter in the bushes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And therefore those places will become less crowded but still open. The councils won't shut them down and stuff like that. But yeah, all we would say to people, if you don't know about the wild camping rule, which is you find a place, and when you leave it, it's cleaner than when you find it. You don't dump your toilet unless it's somewhere like a main sewers drain or in
And
a toilet.
that's just we as well, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And try not to stay there for a few days really at a time. You know, if you want to go away and come back again or something, but essentially just try not to make it obvious that you're camping there, so that the council don't get loads of calls and then put a height barrier up or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Which is our favourite moto? It'll be this one.
This one.
By far.
Oh yes, hell
By a
yes.
very long shot. It was absolutely brilliant.
Mm.
Has Em gone to bed?
Has she?
Have I just seen at the bottom? I'm in bed now. I'm up in bed now.
I saw people saying bye to Lou before.
Oh,
So
I wonder if that. Well, I don't know who it is then.
there's
I've
no point
missed
saying bye
who.
to Lou now, because that was about 10-15 minutes ago.
I know, but someone, one of the camper vibes,
Yeah, has
Yes.
gone to bed.
is typing from bed.
Ah, right, okay then. Well, I would say we've gone through all the questions now, and that is 2 hours. So I can't see any more. Lou gone. That's
Lou
it.
gone.
Lou gone.
Oh, so it is Em then. Oh, someone's saying that they're in Florida and it's 80 degrees.
It's just not fair.
No, it's not. Let me just have a you talk. I'm just gonna
I'm just reading the
look
question. Yeah.
through.
Yeah, Lou is having her last cup of tea before bedtime. Wants to get up early. Now she'll be out filming something. There'll be some bird or something knocking around, because I don't know if you know, but Lou really likes birds. Both kinds. She says that quite a lot. But yeah, there'll be something really interesting up a tree somewhere that she's got to spend 6 hours. And then she'll make it dance and perform all sorts of weird music tracks. Won't you, Lou?
Oh, I love the dancing bird vids. I love them. Somebody said here that supermarkets in the States, Walmart for instance, have free overnight parking.
Yeah, they do.
With amenities. I mean, there might not be any amenities here, but we've stayed in. And if you look, Daz has got a bit of a series on parking in like Tesco's and things.
Yep.
We stayed in the Aldi
Asda.
in Asda in Cardiff.
Bangor.
I know where I saw
Yeah.
it. Asda in
And
Bangor.
somewhere else as well. But yeah, most of them, Daz has explained this anyway, but what we found is that if you turn up to a major supermarket and say, is it all right if we just do this for one night? Most of them are really nice. We even got offered water. Do you want a shower in the toilets? Do you want
in a shower?
Well, they have showers and toilets, sort of. But yeah, I think they were offering the staff facilities.
Yeah. For us to
and
use
saying,
it. They were going to give us some free bottles of water, and we're just like, literally, the only thing we need is somewhere to stop. I'll come in and buy some water, and I'll
Yeah.
come in first thing in the morning for some fresh pastries and stuff.
Yeah.
And all they asked is that we parked out of the way.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely worth. I mean, most places, even the pubs we've been to, they're definitely worth just popping up and
Yep.
rocking up and saying, "Do you mind?" Because
Yeah, do you
people
mind? Just
really
for one night, and
appreciate
that's it.
asking,
Yeah.
and which is really good.
So, yes, it has flown by the 2 hours. So, yes, thanks very much for joining us tonight. I hope you all have a great weekend. And obviously, there'll be an enthralling video out on Tuesday all about wheels and tyres. So hopefully you'll find that absolutely mesmerising. Don't forget on Sunday to watch us on the Roman Radford's video, having a good old chat and asking all sorts, or answering all sorts of questions that were asking us and all.
Yep.
And we shall see you on a normal video next Friday.
Next Friday, yes, back to normal again.
Back to normal for a while, yeah. Well, I wish it was back to normal, but back to a
Back
pre-recorded
to a standard
video.
one with us not doing much apart from getting an MOT and putting some new things in the van.
Yeah.
Spoiler
you could-
alert.
I was going to say, it's got nothing to
No,
watch
but
now.
please watch it. It's brilliant. Honestly, it's going to be brilliant.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You guys take care,
Yes,
and we'll catch you on the next one.
we certainly will. Thank you
right.
very much for joining us, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.